Good morning, Ghana, Africa, and the rest of the wonderful world. Monday, the 23rd of October, we're inching closer to the end of the month. Welcome to a brand new day on TV3. We call it New Day, and we make sure you rise up, wake up, and feel the sunshine. Trust you're doing very well. I'm not here alone. I'm here with two wonderful ladies. Dr. Nanama Ajiman.
Oh, Johnny.
Should I Esquire?
No, please. Nanama Ajiman is fine. Thank you.
And the beautiful Solace Rose Quarty. How you doing, ladies?
We're fine.
It rained.
Yes, it was drizzling. So I was going to say they're not really waking up to the sunshine. You wake up to a bit of drizzling, but definitely it's still a good morning.
The sunshine is in your heart.
Ah, it's in your heart. Okay. But they have to show it out there. It has to shine for all of us to see. But anyway, thank you once again for joining us on your Super Morning Show, New Day. Just to remind you, New Day has been chosen to win an award. So definitely keep your votes going to RTP. I think it's 1446.
1446, yes, that's
so
the morning show.
So we can win and stay on top.
I mean, the folks who, for example, live in England or the US, they don't have so much of sun.
Yeah, a typical British weather is very cold
it's
and
like
wet
a
most of the time.
temperamental woman.
What?
Was that what you're driving
What did you say?
No, I was
No,
not
please,
done.
no, repeat that. I think
Okay, so
people
just skip that part. Let's put it like in parentheses.
I finished. I'm like a radio. When I speak, it's done. So I'm saying that. So they don't see the sun. How come they keep repeating that? Look on the brighter side of life.
That still is a brighter side to it, even though they don't see the sun as often as we do. In the morning, it's still clear.
But England is actually comparatively better. When you go to like the areas like Norway and Sweden, they have like
the Scandinavian.
But they also look on the brighter side.
Because there still is a brighter side to it. It's relative.
Even in darkness, you still have to see the brighter side.
Really? Mrs. Dugan, I mean, please.
Sun is...
I don't get this one.
Well, if you don't see the brighter side, they do. So let them keep it that way, okay?
It's only the women who understand this part, but the men don't.
No, you are the only man for now. Say I don't. Don't put all men in the same.
Alone, I'm representing
No,
brothers.
You can't.
What's up? Anyway, let's have some news now. Solace is ready. She's got all the details in terms of news and weather, what you need to know before you step out. Hey, Solace, take it away.
All right, thank you very much once again for joining us here on New Day. It's time for morning news. We'll be back. Now, let's get into details of the stories that we have today. Don't forget that we do have news from the health sector, business, as well as some politics and, of course, weather. Let's go to our first story. And after narrowly escaping death from the collapse of their classroom block, kindergarten pupils of Bonsaho DA School at the Atimokwa district of the Central Region are struggling to hold classes. Now, the pupils study without a board and have inadequate furniture. Spencer Kwabena Boateng Mensa has the details.
Time was up for pupils at Bonsaho DA School to say the Lord's Prayer and pledge to be faithful to Ghana, but attendance was poor for several reasons. Lessons had begun, but pupils in this class study in fear that the weak building put up many years ago could come down at any time to claim lives and halt academics. At the beginning of this academic year, about 50 kindergarten 1 and 2 pupils narrowly escaped death when their classroom block collapsed before school hours. School authorities have improvised a structure for the children to have classes. However, furniture and writing boards are unavailable for the combined class, forcing the school authority to stop KG2 pupils from bringing books to school. For about a month now, these pupils come to school every day to learn and revise poems. The dusty nature of the classroom is the reason, and this puts a question on the provision of quality education for all. Teachers speaking off camera said if the situation persists, it will take time for the kids to pick up. The chief of Bonsaho Nana Piakubi recounted some teachers who are unable to face the challenges of the school leave the community, leaving the kids to their fate. Old students of Bonsahun DA School are therefore calling on authorities to consider their constitutional mandate of providing equal rights to educational opportunities and facilities for all.
Now, the absence of elective maths, chemistry and biology teachers in the Bunkuru Senior High Technical School in the Northern Region is hampering quality teaching and learning. Now, the 2 general science teachers in the school double as biology and chemistry tutors.
The Bunkuru Senior High Technical School was established in 1991. The school currently has a student population of 1,724. Lessons begin at exactly 7 a.m. each day and ends at 1:45 p.m. with 2 breaks at 10 a.m. and noon. Total of 9 subjects are treated each day, but 2 out of the 9 lessons are lost to their dining periods. Students spend close to an hour for breakfast because they are forced to run shift at the dining hall due to its relatively small nature.
When students go for dining, there are some old benches and tables there. They serve a few at a time, and therefore the students eat in batches. They are spending quite some time instead of just the normal 20 minutes.
Headmaster of the school, Mohammed Ayana, said construction of a dining hall has stalled.
About a year ago, when the contractor came to site, I called him 3 days ago, and he said he's still waiting for payment from Get Fund. And that when the payment is done, he'll return to site and he'll get the roof over it.
Though a technical school, it also offers science courses such as integrated and agricultural sciences. Even though there are no tutors to teach biology, chemistry and elective mathematics, it currently depends on non-specialized teaching staff, with only 2 general science teachers dabbling as biology and chemistry teachers.
Let's move down south, and the residents of Atadeka and New York in the Katamansu constituency have expressed worry over the lack of street lights and the bad road network connecting motorists in the community and beyond. Now, they also lament that they do not feel safe following the constant attacks and robberies in the area at night.
The 10-kilometer stretch links many communities in the area, but the road is in a deplorable state. When someone falls sick, we struggle to even get a vehicle to convey the person to the hospital because drivers hardly ply this road.
Especially rainy season, we find it difficult to pass here. So most of the time we get fault because of the nature of the road. It's a very bad road.
We don't have street light. Owing to this, we experience frequent robbery attacks. We spend a lot of money buying spare parts because our vehicles break down often.
Due to the situation, our children are forced to trek to school because the drivers hardly ply the stretch. These have been the concerns for the past 7 years.
We have tried all our best for us to face the road. Unfortunately, anytime we do the movement, things rather cross it and then the road will not be done.
We checked with the Katamanso District Assembly, but the Chief Executive Officer declined to speak. Urgent attention is needed to restore the socio-economic activities in the area.
Now, tension is mounting at Tema PSC Shipyard over the activities of 2 rival unions that represent their staff. Now, if this problem is not resolved, this could spark labor unrest at the country's ports.
The 2 rival unions are the Port Seamen Maritime Dockers Union and the Maritime Dock Workers Union of the TUC. The Maritime and Dock Workers Union of the TUC have been agitating for the removal of the Managing Director, Captain Francis Micah of the PSC Shipyard. But the leadership of the Senior Staff Union of GPHA, who are members of the Maritime Dock Workers Union of the TUC, disagrees.
In an unstable environment as a result of disturbances in labor front, there is no way productivity can be attained. That the chief executive and the HR of the shipyard be moved, we found it very unfortunate.
Appeals have been made to the Transport Ministry to intervene and restore calm.
Now, if you are in the police force or you do plan on enlisting at some point, this will come as some good news to you, as the police administration is ensuring every serving police personnel with an insurance cover of 50,000 each. Now, under the comprehensive insurance, 3 children of a personnel who dies in the line of duty shall enjoy free education up to the tertiary level.
The 4-year transformational agenda by the police is aimed at changing the mindset of personnel as well as ensuring the promotion of the welfare of serving personnel.
As part of the welfare package, very soon, every police officer will have an insurance cover of 50,000 cedis in case of death in line of duty. Even if one should die accidentally or naturally, the family will be entitled to 25,000 Ghana cedis.
Addressing the closing ceremony of a compulsory motor traffic and transport department training in Accra, the Inspector General of Police, David Asantia Pietu, urged all service personnel to support the new agenda.
All of us have suffered from delays in reimbursement of medical expenses. This package has provided 12,500 for critical ailments. What is more interesting about this package is that in the event of death in line of duty, 3 children will be catered for from nursery to tertiary institutions.
Director General, Police MTTD, COP Maxwell Atingani, told TV3 personnel of the service will be judged by their performance on the road.
The way and manner that we are supposed to operate as MTTD, the public will see drastic change. We want the face to change. We want to satisfy the public, and that's it.
A total of 665 newly drafted MTTD personnel took part in the transformational training in 10 batches over 10 weeks to be deployed in the Accra region. The public is to identify the new MTTD with additional badge embossed on their left shoulder and report any misconduct to the nearest police station.
Let's move away from that. And the police in Sakomono are seeking public assistance in locating the whereabouts of 10-year-old Elizabeth Amole Tete. Elizabeth reportedly left their Lashibit residence around 5 p.m. Tuesday, October 17, and has since not been seen. All efforts at tracing Elizabeth Amole Tete have not been successful. Elizabeth Amole Tete is dark in complexion, about 4 feet tall, and speaks only Fanti. Anyone who knows the whereabouts of Elizabeth Amole Tete or has seen her anywhere should please contact the nearest police station. Now, volunteers may also call the police emergency numbers 191 or crime fighters toll-free number 18555 to assist. All right, let's move on. Now, they call me the cursed one, saying I have given birth to mentally unstable children. I feel very isolated and want to move away from this neighborhood. These are the words of 36-year-old Golda Nunu, who decided to commit suicide because society constantly mocked her for having 4 children with special needs. Now, the mission team caught up with her as she spoke about the need to have an inclusive society.
When Golda got married, she was hopeful of a blissful union that would produce children who would become responsible citizens. When she finally gave birth, all her children had special needs. 3 of them having cerebral palsy. Her first child was not present at the time of her visit.
It is not easy to have 3-4 children with challenges. No mother can sit down and say, I'll just look at my children with these disabilities. I went through tough. People rejected me. I had a huge stress on me here and there without knowing even myself who I am.
According to her, she is constantly mocked in society and has to lock her children indoors for fear of stigmatization. The situation is so bad that children in the neighborhood refuse to play with her kids, and she cannot buy items from the neighborhood. So, on Wednesday, October 18, she decided to end it all.
A nearby person who is at our residence just told me, you have given birth to a mad children and a sick children. You will always suffer. That is why you are going through this. I ran into my room, kneeled with tears. Even that day, I didn't control my tears.
Attempts by Golda to get her children in a special needs school proved futile as they were refused admission.
When we went, they assessed these children, my children, and because of the toiletry training, we wasn't able to qualify to go to the school. So my children, or especially the lady, didn't qualify for that. So I'm supposed to come home and train her before they will accept her at the school.
2 years ago, Ghana launched the inclusive education policy to ensure that all children go to school regardless of their disabilities. However, many parents of children with special needs think that the policy is not inclusive enough. Majority of children with special needs in Ghana are still not in school in spite of the inclusive education policy. Golda wants the Department of Social Welfare, non-governmental organizations, philanthropists and corporate organizations to come to her aid, at least to get the children in school.
These children are special from God. So whatever it might be the case, society should accept us. They shouldn't reject us. We are part of them. But this only thing that has differentiates us is being given birth to children who are disabilities doesn't make us that we are not among them.
The mission team will follow up on Golda's quest to have her children in school.
Well, TV3 will be keeping tabs on Madame Nunu to ensure that duty bearers do what is supposed to be done. Let's move on and do some other stories. And lack of adequate furniture at the Table MA Basic School in the Ghana South Municipality has compelled students to drop out of school. Now, students also carry out their academic work on their laps.
According to South Africa's late President Nelson Mandela, education is a key tool to change the world. However, education on the African continent is said to be lagging behind. In Ghana, little has been done by successive governments to improve rural education. The Table MA Basic School appears to be a neglected school. Established about a decade ago, the school has been grappling with issues of inadequate desks, classroom blocks and textbooks. Pupils routinely perform academic works on their laps because there are no tables. Few pupils have resorted to bringing their own tables and chairs from homes to improvise. Although the Table MA Basic School serves pupils in 15 scattered communities, current challenges remain a disincentive, forcing many to quit the school.
Some come and then they look at how, especially in KG and the lower primary, how they sit on the floor. Some have to squat, some have to lie down on their chest and all of that. Most of the wards carry their children back.
This dilapidated structure serves as classroom block for primary 6, junior high school 1, 2 and 3 pupils. 6 pupils share a bench and 4 others sit on a dwell desk, a situation negatively affecting their health and academic activities.
We suffer from our spine and a lot, so we need adequate furniture.
Pupils go through difficulties accessing their classrooms during the rainy season. Caroline Luthrot is a teacher and a circuit supervisor at the school.
Far back in the 2012, when I was released to this place, and before then they were studying under trees, and we were not having structures. When it rains, it's very terrible.
Assistant Headmaster Gustave Yamoa said persistent plea to get the GAS South Educational Directorate to address their predicament have failed.
I must confess, it's very difficult. Look at where we are, commuting from that place. The financial cost involved, the risk is only through Okada we used to come here. And so when you wake up in the morning and then you think of all these things, if you are not very careful, you might find somewhere and sit.
The Table MA Basic School is not a beneficiary of government's free school feeding program, and it is also not disability friendly.
Away from education, let's look at some health issues. An incomprehensive national health insurance coupled with a weak social welfare system have compelled many Ghanaians to rely on charitable organizations and NGOs for health care. Peter Kwao Adato reports hundreds of patients trooped to the First Care Hospital in Kumasi with health conditions that they had been living with for decades due to poverty.
The First Care Hospital in Kumasi became the center of attraction in the month of September and October this year. Scores of patients trooped to the facility to register their participation in a humanitarian health outreach by Restore International, based in America. At least 140 out of 300 patients were shortlisted at the end of September for the exercise in October. The rest were not cases listed for the program. Others were cases requiring more time than a week's outreach. The final screening was on Sunday, October 15, where the shortlisted patients were booked for surgery.
She's saying she's having severe pains in her breast. She's having some severe pains, so her son at Bekwai, one of her son at Bekwai, told her to come.
A team of 40 volunteers, including doctors, surgeons, anesthetists, nurses, and other paramedics from across the world, went into action on Monday, October 16.
I just saw a 50-year-old lady who had a mastectomy when she was 14 years old. She was told the breast would grow back. That's her story. But somebody at the age of 14 or 15 to have her breast removed, we as a country, we have a lot of work to do. If we work together as a team, we can build better institutions, in healthcare, so that Ghanaians will be comfortable, and even the diaspora, when they come back home, they will be comfortable enough to say, you know what, when I'm sick, I have a better place to go.
Keloid, bone disfigurement, facial tumor, posterior scalp lipoma, breast cancer, birth defects or deformities, among others, dominated cases.
Hospital ba me ko bia no mo me no ba no mo cancer bia o me operate na bi ti e ma me breaki kakra ti oni no ehuade oh they make can say me dem paibo tomoji say the baby nyame form so ya mai.
With 2 theaters at their disposal, the team, led by Ghanaian-born American plastic surgeon Dr. Michael Kwame Obeng, put their expertise at the disposal of these less fortunate Ghanaians.
So I think that the insurance should be designed in a way to provide complete comprehensive care so that these patients don't have to wait for other charitable organizations or charitable institutions for their essential care.
One after the other, day after day, patients who have lived with ailments for varying years were relieved and excited. The director of Restore International Relations, Don Sutherland, had mixed feelings over the plights of Ghanaians who are dying because of lack of health care.
You have people who have been thrown with acid and get brutally, disfigured. And when they go to the hospital, they can't do anything for them. And so a lot of these children are put over into the village just to suffer.
These few counted themselves fortunate, but how about those who were turned away and the hundreds who did not hear of the Restore team?
And now for the weather updates for the next few hours.
The weather report is brought to you by
And that's how we wrap up morning news here on TV3. I am Solace Rose Quarty. We'll hand over the reins to Johnny and Amma after this. Don't go anywhere.
Namaste. Hell's down heaven now, living in the same town, trying to find something new. This ain't right. Snowblind, no good.
Hello, I'm home. Hello. Jumbo.
Year after year, we've been rewarding explicit radio and television personalities and content that took over the airwaves. The 7th Adonko RTP Awards 2017. Who carries the awards slated for the various categories? For Christian J. Frimpong to win Radio Entertainment Talk Show Host of the Year award. Text Christian to 1446. For Onya FM to win more awards, vote for us now. The 7th Adonko RTP Awards. The night we all dream in gold.
My assessment is that TV3 is a pace setter insofar as news and current affairs reporting is concerned. They are objective, balanced in their reportage, and non-sensational. They have interesting programs like Mission Ghana, exposing the conditions of ordinary people. I'm very satisfied with your new day morning show. It is educative. So in my view, it is the leading news and current affairs TV station. Congratulations for 20 years well spent.
Congratulations to TV3 for 20 years of splendid broadcast in Ghana. I'm honored to be associated with the station. It was the first station to broadcast my messages on television. And so much of my life and my ministry is tied to what you represent. And I think the quality you have shown over the years is an example of what we need on our continent. And we trust that you take over this continent of Africa with great broadcasting programs and be able to shape the thoughts and the ideas of the next generation of Africans. God bless you and have a very fruitful celebration.
News, it will be welcome news to those who are, have been caught up in the net.
Exactly.
But on the river, some will also be asking, as I've read on many other platforms and on social media as well, people are asking, so can we ever let the law work fully without having to interrupt it at some point? Because this will bring respite to the people who have been fined and sanctioned to pay. But then on the reverse, okay, what exactly is this? And will we continue to have, a series of these other things again? I'm told that the minister said they will not, be doing talk shop anymore, but now it will be the insistence and the enforcement of the law. So let's see how it goes. But clearly, I think that while the NCA wants us to believe that, well, they are cracking the whip, you think that a bit of the, the blame must also go to their doorstep, because before somebody transfers a license to, if I own the license and I want to transfer to you, the NCA must be aware, they must be aware what I'm going to use the license for, and for when the transfer is going, how much is involved and all of that. I'm sure that at that particular table, when the transfer of, because if you look at the list they brought, the transfer of the licenses have happened, and the ownership of the licenses, the original owners, most of which have changed. So the point is, at what point was NCA part of the negotiation process? The calculation, the discussions, how much you're going to sell it for, what you're going to buy it for, who were the owners? Because you know also that one person cannot own multiple space on the spectrum. So all these issues come to play. So the NCA perhaps should not, and the Minister for Communication should not just perhaps present themselves as, oh, we have come, we have done the audit, which is a good thing, and we are cracking the whip. We should also be told at what point were they part of the negotiations following which the transfer of the spectrum or the whatever it is where frequencies were giving out, and what was the understanding at the time between the we need to know. We need to be told, and nobody has said anything about it. So far we're told, okay, they owe X amount, and if they don't pay this by this date, we will shut them down, and TV stations must also get ready. But we know the process is by the NCA's own law. So what did they do about it? That's what I want to know. But
on the flip side, Johnny, just like you raised, is it that they're too quick to enforce the laws when they know they have a fault? Because I would expect that before you come and do something like this, obviously you want us to believe that you're working, and so you've been able to crack the whip. But if you do it and then you contradict yourself and go to now sit down and talk about it, and now you've slashed the fine, then you weaken the systems in a way. So ideally, if they see a law to which we've all, gone on the wrong side of, you sit down, have negotiations. Yes, there's a law, all right, maybe you faulted, but we feel we've both faulted, and so it's coming to our doorstep. But don't push it out there, make it a big case, and then you go back on your words and take certain actions. I feel when they do that, they weaken the structures that exist, and so we should be slow to... I
think that not necessarily going back on their words. When the matter broke, there was a public uproar, and some of the media houses, I had said here that, look, some of the media houses were seeing those figures for the first time in their business life, because they don't even make half of what is being published there. However, I think also that the public uproar, the appeals by politicians, the minority, for example, thought that it was a slap in the face of free speech, and on and on and on. Okay, so considering that, perhaps the ministry and the NCA decided, let's have a roundtable conversation with them after the 30-day period, or within the 30-day period that they afforded them. I'm sure that a lot of conversations went on, which would have given them the if you like, the thinking to slash it down to 50%. But the law is a law. What does the NCA law say? What must the NCA itself do? What duty does it owe the people? Because yes, you may own the frequency, but the spectrum belongs to the people. And the frequency owner is just holding it in trust for the people. That's how come the NCA must know what you are publishing, when you are publishing it, how you are publishing it. Because the truth of the matter is that the NMC law, which sets it up, doesn't give the NMC teeth to bite. So it is the NCA that has teeth to bite. And I've always said that, look, I've never ever seen the NCA revoke any station's license, even though they know. I mean, we had people broadcast adult movies, primetime television, and all we could have the National Media Commission go to them and say is that we are appealing to you, stop showing it. But the NCA knew it, the laws were clear. So what happened? Is the NCA failing us? Or are they now waking up to their responsibility and role? What exactly is it? And I still insist that nobody has told us whether the NCA was there at the negotiation table. Who was the license originally given to? And when and where did the license move to? And what was the understanding at the time? Did the new owners decide that they were going to take on the assets and the liabilities? Did the NCA agree to it? What kind of conversation went on between that time? And we need to know. You see, we need to know. Then we can know that the NCA is complete in all its processes. But to just present the part where the faltering stations are listed, and then we say, okay, this is how much you owe, and so we are giving you this respite. For me, it doesn't make the complete story. It doesn't. But Bukom Banku is in the news.
He definitely
is. In the news.
He was beaten.
I mean, undefeated for a long time, and he tasted defeat for the first time last Saturday.
Which is good. I mean, it should come at every point in time. Someone needs something to shake their foundation so that you know you are not, all-powerful. You're not omnipotent, as it were. Yes.
I mean, but Buto Mako has come under strict criticism. Some think that he doesn't live like a boxer. He doesn't train. He doesn't exercise. And, you know, he does all the, you know, excesses. And people think, I mean, but I think that he has a life. I mean, if he wants to, of course. I mean,
Johnny, this is his job. However, it's his business. However, he decides to manage it for me. It's his own business, really. But, of course, looking at it on the boxing industry, I heard Azuma Nelson speaking, and he says, yes, Bukom Banku has tasted loss for the first time. He definitely hopes he picks it up from there. But, of course, it also gives Basti, you know, an upper hand in the sense that he's an up-and-coming boxer. So definitely gives him a great platform. We hope they do well together. Obviously, he's younger. They should train him. He should get better as time goes, and hopefully we'll have Ghanaian champions, you know, out there fighting for Ghana. So kudos to both of them on either side.
And I think that Bukom has received a lot of trolling on social media.
It's because Johnny, he speaks, he talks a lot.
Well, but I mean, Muhammad Ali spoke. And I think that the only challenge is some of the excesses that he has. For example, he's had his own set of problems with assaults, police cases, and all of that. And some, I mean, people have mentioned the bleaching. You're a medical doctor. That, well, perhaps it was because he's never fought and had a cut. I don't think I have seen Bukom Banku fight and have a cut before. And, you know, this also perhaps we want to stretch the argument to our footballers and our basketballers and everybody else. When you rise to into the limelight or to fame with sports, how do you manage the fame? Do we have that? Do we really have a thing like that? Because clearly, I mean, the defeat was embarrassing to Bukom Banku. It was. I mean, I watched I couldn't believe. And the kind of narrative that we have, somebody said he was kneaded like a dough. Somebody said Banku has become Kukunte, he's become Auzakuku. You know what I mean? But hey, I mean, it's a fight. I mean, somebody would lose, somebody will win.
Exactly.
And it's okay. Congratulations to Basti. Better luck to Bukom. Let's hope that things work out. But I understand there was a showdown in Bukom. They did their thing, my people.
I saw some 2 children crying, you know, when they were showing the Bukom Banku match, and I was wondering, what did they go and do there?
Well,
it was late. They should be sleeping.
I mean, if
I mean, they were whisking them away.
I have what do you call it? I have been a ring announcer for Azuma Nelson's fight tonight, round 3, round 4, and sometimes you see the kids there as well. I mean, it's a Bukom thing, and in Bukom, you know, their own thing, which I was talking about, was a free-for-all fight at the Bukom. Yeah, I mean, so supporters of Bukom Banku, and it's a regular thing. In 2016, when we went there to have the election debates, the Media General Election Command Center debates, they waited. They had all the verbal arguments. When we were done, they started their own thing. They were free for all. They were tossing stones.
Anyway, guys, let's do Ghanaian Times before we wrap up on headlines. It says, sanctioned radio stations pardoned. Also, TVET bill for Parliament soon. That's coming from the President. Then IDEC says, amend law to pave way for elections of MMDCEs. And then finally, 50,000 Ghana cedis insurance cover for police. And there's an insert of the IGP, Mr. Asante Apietu. Definitely, that's good news because we know the police and their issues. And definitely, a big welfare package would serve.
I'm happy this has come so we don't have to come back every now and then and say that, well, the unfortunate La Paz incident where the police officer died, and we're expecting that he would get the same perks like Major Max or Mahama got. Yes, we're expecting that they are properly taken care of. And I hope this is not another talk shop where you will have, you know, policemen, I mean, get hurt in the line of duty or lose their lives and their families are left stranded. Because sorry to remind the family of Major Max Omama, but his demise brought to the fore a lot of these issues. Where when we went for the presser at the Burma Hall, the soldiers had a lot of things to say. Somebody had said that his brother and I think himself were both afflicted, and the military high commander told them that they were going to get some respite for family insurance, blah, blah, blah. And as of the time he was talking, it was about 4 or 5 years, and nothing, nobody had even mentioned anything. And it is not just them. The folks at fire service, the folks at the prison service, the folks at immigration service, Ghana Revenue Authority, Customs Division, almost all of them, even ambulance service. You find that you want people to serve, but what do they get? I mean, in return, sometimes you go to some of the hospitals and you find them they would rather not go to their own hospitals because the queue, the bureaucracy, and everything that comes along. So if they have some money in their pockets, they would rather go to a private hospital and get themselves properly healed. So for me, I think this is good, but it must work to show that it is good.
Yeah.
If not, because the junior ranks are always under the impression that those commissioned officers in the senior ranks enjoy better.
Yeah.
So that if I'm a junior rank, I'm a corporal, or I'm an inspector, I'm an NCO, and I don't feel it, and yet I would have, say, an ASP or a DSP, or I have a superintendent or an ACP enjoy it. I mean, of course. In the meantime, it is the junior ranks, the constable, sergeant, corporal. Yes, they get into the ditches. They face almost all the threats. So a good morning to you, IGP, Mr. David Asantia Pietu. We hope that this gets done. Congratulations to you, but as we said, we will be watching. We will be watching.
Yeah, guys, we're ranting. So, you know, we're talking about land guards. We're not only fighting Galamsey, but now we are planning, or the minister has said that there will be a fight against land guards as well. Johnny, that is very timely, and it's important for us because we know the issues with land. It's not easy, even coming up with the little money you can to secure a land and then having to battle it legally sometimes, or other times physically, you know. And you go there and there are land guards, and because they have the power, they take you. It's unfair. It shouldn't happen. We shouldn't be having that in Ghana as it stands, but we do. So we do. I mean, it's so unfair. And, well, I still don't believe that the minister should, you know, just make a declaration. Right. Because the minister knows where these land guards are. The interior minister knows where these land guards are. The Minister for Defense knows. The National Security, they know. In fact, the CID boss, Mr. Bright Odro, who's been asked to go home, one of the main issues that came up in the run-up to his being asked to step aside and go on his terminal leave prior to his retirement by Mr. Kennedy Japan, Honorable Kennedy Japan, was that he was working hand in glove with some land guards at Miocho. So it is not as if our authorities don't know. They know. Well, and in that matter, he also implicated the Minister for National Security, Honorable Kandapa. They know. They do know. So when we make an open statement that, well, we are fighting against Galamsey, we have a timeline, blah, 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 what exactly does it mean? If I've gone to buy land for 10,000 or 12,000, and somebody just comes to take it from me under the pretext that I can't pay digging fee or roofing fee or whatever fee, and you're telling me that we're setting it up? I don't know, but I am ranting. George is also ranting out there on the streets of Accra with other Ghanaians. Let's hear what they have to say.
Just imagine yourself acquiring this piece of land for, let's say, 4,000 cedis, and later you are being harassed by not one, two, three, but numerous group of land guards, regardless of the fact that you even acquired it through the genuine means. And somewhere in the early part of this year, the Goma East MP made a strong case on disbanding activities of land guards. He said it scares investors from even investing in Ghana. Activities of land guards can lead to violence, it can lead to loss of property, and the worst, death. What can be done to curtail this menace? This is Daily Rant. Let's keep talking.
They have to take time. Know who is responsible for the land. Okay? Not to fight against those people, against that land. Okay? At the end of the day, they should know who's responsible for that land before they fight. Because after fighting and knowing the responsible people for that land will be against them.
Why must we wait at all? Let's even think about the word land guards. Why must we have the word land guards? I'm having my land. Why do somebody coming from elsewhere to come and fight over that land? I have my papers, I have my documents. If you think I'm not, the land is not for me, the best thing for you to do is to go to a police station and lodge your complaint. Apart from that, I don't see the reason why you should use force in killing people, or I mean it's bad. We don't have to encourage that.
I don't think there's any Ghanaian who would say they like the activities of land guards. Land guards, especially the way their modus operandi is very, very bad. We can have land guards who are working on the right lands that belongs to the right owners, but they are not there like the way we see them do the stuff here. So basically I feel it is bad. The government should have a task force against land guards like the way we have against the illegal miners. It will help the country.
What I want to say first is they use guns. Have they registered the guns? That's the first question I ask. And are they registered bodies as a land guard? That's what we have to ask ourselves first. Are they paying tax? They are worrying us. Why should I pay for a land, then I start building, then someone will come and tell me.
It is because a lot of people have not experienced the menace of land cards. That is why they are taking it lightly. Let me tell you, if you have an experience, you know what people are talking about. The extent of troubles they are giving people. I tell you, you build, they will come and destroy everything without giving you any justification. Why should this continue? I tell you, this should be the best thing this government will do. And I'll forever vote for them if they should stop the land guard menace.
I know the Interior Minister, Ambrose Jerry, came out last week ago saying that they've inaugurated a task force to fight land guard activities. I don't know. Do you think it's more like a lip service or talk shop?
Well, we saw the task force set for the illegal miners, and then we realized it was something that was going to be. This is just a lip show. It has been said. We haven't seen anything that is happening to it. I don't feel we should even attack the land guards directly or alone. We should try to attack the owners, those who organize the land guards onto that particular land. The problem is from there. I'm a school dropout, I'm a hustler somewhere, I want a job. Somebody says, let's go to this land at Oyorifa, go there and guard the land for me, make sure nobody comes to the land. I'm a hustler, I don't need to check for papers or anything. So when somebody like that is caught, we should find the owner, the one who hired that land guard, and then let's deal with that person. When we start dealing with those rich men who are pushing the youth to do such things, we will have this menace cut down.
See, land guard, they are killing a lot of people in this town. You're going to buy a land, and then someone from some place will just come and take all your property, in which is bad. In which they come with guns, some of our police and military don't use. Sometimes they see some ammunition from them, then you ask yourself, in Ghana, do we have these things here? But a land guard will be having this. And then,
my dear, I agree with you. They do. Because some people in Ghana right now are being paid to fight over something that they are good. They are not responsible to. You understand? So at the end of the day, when you fight over something that you are not responsible, you are not responsible to. At the end of the day, when somebody comes out to fight over this my property, because you are being paid for to fight for that property, you fight for it because you are being paid for. I hope, my brother, you agree with me. Good.
It's like what my brothers are saying. We should find out who are behind these land guards. And I tell you, politicians, rich men. No,
but we don't have evidence to that. We just can talk about it, but you don't have evidence.
No. We have most politicians on radio, on set, telling people.
We are speaking our mind.
And you see, it's like we know. We always pretend. Our problem in this country is to pretend. We pretend as if we don't know people who are behind it. Yet still, we know.
Somewhere in the early part of this year, the Goma East MP was making a case, against land guard menace. And he was like, it scares investors from investing in Ghana. And when investors come, they use lands to work. And so it scares them. And I hope you believe it.
Last week, I was listening to the radio, and then somebody said he's envisaging a 5-year Ghana where we are just going to be hijacked by rebels. And this rebel thing is going to start from the land guard stuff. Because they have all the weapons.
Sophisticated ones.
Everything, even our military do not have. And then very soon, they are going to guard lands, they are going to guard properties that are very key to the Ghanaian society. Like these gold mines, they can do stuff like that. They will just go hijack the place, and then we'll be in trouble. So I feel the government should just let us stand up. This is the time. This is one political point Nana Addo can score. Then we can move on as people of Ghana.
Look at this. If we stop land guard operations, it means some people are not going to eat. They are not going to,
particular point people keep saying. There are people,
I'm playing the devil's advocate.
There are people in Ghana who are not into land guards, who are not into illegal mining, but they are unemployed. They are still eating. So I don't know why people keep making those excuses.
This land issue, every land in this country has has a history.
Owner.
You understand? And we have owners of the land. Why must it be that maybe you got the land from Klenewe, then somebody from maybe Ajakwewe coming to take the land? You understand? And who is the best person to solve this problem? Is it not the police station? But I tell you, even the police are more corrupt and involved in this grand menace. I tell you, yes. So the problem is from the head. If a fish or a meat is to spoil, it has to start from the head. So we have to start from the hierarchy. Politicians, policemen, military people, the judiciary. You see, we have to tackle them.
Okay, my auntie some time ago got a land at Kaswa, and she got it through genuine means. And this land gas scheme, it wasn't one, it wasn't two, like more than group of land gas. And then she had to give in because the demands were, and then she just had to accept and then give them whatever they wanted.
The police should be your auntie's help, but then she'll go there. They'll say, come tomorrow, come this week, come this. They will never go there.
But how do you?
No, I disagree with you, because if police is to come in 3-4 times, police should have sorted this program. My dear, no, hold on. How many times did the police come in? My dear, how?
Here in Ghana, people think the police is very slow in doing all this. So let me just forget.
It's like you are polishing the police. You are saying people keep saying the police is very slow. Is the police slow? The police is not doing the work. It is not that they are slow. Police is not doing the work. Police is zero.
With the land guard, they are mentioned MPP, and with my matter now, I don't know any party. But with the land guard, they are mentioned MPP. So my problem now is MPP. Why must they do that? Excuse me. I don't want to talk anything about them. See, when your papers are genuine, why must they say you have to pay something before your land should be given to you?
For the first time, let me defend the MPP. There's not a political problem. There's not a political point. It has been there since time. Rollins' time, the policeman who was killed by land gas and buried there. So it has been there. But I'm saying it will be a political point to score for the MPP if they can do something about it now.
But Ali, this issue you're talking about, it has nothing to do with politics.
Listen to me. I never argue with anybody on any political issue. But my own is, when NPP came on power, okay? Listen to me, my brother. When you talk, see, don't get me angry, because at the end of the day, when anything happens, it is about MPP because they are on power now.
If you are to politicize this issue, we will not see the head and the tail of this issue.
Sure.
We should devoid politics out of this, you understand, and tackle the issue. The issue is land gas is disturbing the citizenry. What do we do? And we know the root causes. We know people in society who are behind the land gas. That is what we have to do now. If we are to politicize it, I tell you, that is what the politicians, or that is the hierarchies want. They want us to politicize it so that the issue will be hanging. Okay. So we don't have to politicize it. Okay. We have to put our acts together and fight it with unity.
Activities of land guards are something the public find disgusting, and for them, at high time measures were put in place to curtail their operations. If you want to be part of this discussion, just log on to our social media platforms. On Facebook, it's News on TV3, and on Twitter, it's News TV3. We came to you from Labadi here at Accra. Thanks for watching, and keep watching New Day.
This is the life story of Griselda Blanco, the true definition of a dark widow, coming from Mexico with nothing but the desire to survive and be successful.
Guys, welcome to New York.
Her life revolves around men and revenge.
Get that gun off my face! No, please don't touch me!
Shut up.
Please.
Just be quiet. It'll be okay, Griselda. Go ahead, just kill me like you killed my son, that boy you mercilessly shot from the back. Your death by the electric chair has already been approved. Is there anything that you would like to say?
I just want to say that we're going to see each other again. And if you dare cross her, you might not live to regret it. Tell me you took my son. Come on, tell me where my son is! Watch the new, exciting Griselda Blanco, The Dark Widow, Tale of Love and Hate. Griselda Blanco, The Dark Widow, premiering on Tuesday, 24th October at 9 p.m. only on TV3. Don't miss it.
Brought to you by Solak Herbal Mixture and supported by Connect FM 97.1 in Takrady. Year after year, we've been rewarding explicit radio and television personalities and content that took over the airwaves. It's the 7th year and it's going to be more rewarding. The 7th Adonko RTP Awards 2017. Who carries the awards slated for the various categories? Let's converge at the International Conference Center on 28th of October 2017, 8 p.m. sharp, and witness the highly anticipated 7th Adonko RTP Awards with massive performances from the evergreen, sexy dancehall queen, Ebony, Kel Songs, and one big surprise artist who is the man of the moment. Special guest of honor, His Excellency Dr. Mahamadou Bawumia, Vice President of the Republic of Ghana. Present at the ceremony will be His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, former President of the Republic of Ghana, and Dr. Bwedi Nyamiche, Head Pastor, the Makers House Chapel International. Tickets go for 200 Ghana cedis ground floor and 100 Ghana cedis upper floor. You can buy tickets at Silverbed Cinemas, Kuala, Peace FM, Airport Shell, West Hills Mall, Achimota Mall, and Junction Mall. For TV3 to win more awards, vote for us now. For Natalie Fort to win Television Female Newscaster of the Year Award, text RTP Natalie to 1446. For Nanekia Mensah Brampa to win Television Female Newscaster of the Year Award, text RTP Nanekia to 1446. For Alfredo Okanse to win Television Male Newscaster of the Year Award, text RTP Okanse to 1446. The 7th Adonko RTP Awards is brought to you by Adonko Bitters, Jazz Washing Powder, Unibank, Special Drinks, Ines Fly Paint, Stadia Boutique, GH Media School, Sumisura by Abdul, Glory Oil, Holiday Inn Accra Airport, Innovate Advertising, Eden Securities, African Homecoming Project, DSTV Ghana, GoTV Ghana, SICK Microfinance, Royal Dede Hotels, and Vital Fruit Drinks. The 7th Adonko RTP Awards, the night we all dream in gold. This event is powered by Big Events Ghana. 20 years on and we are still rewarding. TV3 is rewarding its loyal viewers for making us the best over the years. To win, answer simple questions about TV3 as it appears on your screen. Text your answer to short code 1452 on MTN, Vodafone, Tigo and Airtel and win free souvenirs from TV3. You can also win exciting prizes by calling into 3FM 92.7 and Unia FM 95.1 in Accra and Connect FM 97.1 at Paipano in Takrady. Promos ends on the 31st of October 2017. Terms and conditions apply. You are so important to us no matter where you come from. TV3 at 20, reshaping news and creating stars.
Passions that kill. Hurt. Confuse.
Tell me why. Tell me why did he do this?
Passions you can't fight against.
Did you see that, Mom? She's with the man I love. Calm down, honey.
All of them have the same color.
Where are you going?
To find the person responsible for my brother's death.
That belongs to your sister's husband. What do you think you're
In
doing?
the past, a forbidding passion marked a family's life.
You won't tell anyone.
In the present, the seed of that passion will repeat the story.
I'm marrying your sister on Saturday.
That's if I let it happen.
And will bring along some hatred capable of inspiring the desire for revenge, but also a love that will have to face all the passions
Come on, I don't need your questions nor your opinion.
My own son. If I couldn't be happy, no one will be.
The Color of Passion.
Follow the intrigues, twists, and emotions in the new exciting series, The Color of Passion, premiering on Wednesday, 25th October, 6 p.m. only on TV3.
Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the nicest and the prettiest?
Don't mind the body, mind the engine. I'm talking about the economy for finding men.
God wants you to marry a powerful man of God.
A pastor?
Not just a pastor, but somebody who is fashionable, somebody who is trendy.
All these men of God.
If you fool, I'll just turn you to a snake.
You know the film take any better girl than this pole girl, can't pole girl.
Can I please have my money first?
We'll just go ahead.
So this is my work.
Polo president, Polo!
I'm making you a deal. Get Alvin off my back. I'll make you a superstar.
Action!
Heels and Sneakers shows every Saturday at 6:30 p.m. only on TV3.
Friday on After Hours.
Are you here to interview me? Or
maybe I'm confused. Every Friday night, 9 p.m., where we get to share some fun.
Have you found another boyfriend? Don't say yes. Don't say yes, please.
No, I haven't.
I'll give you the news. News like never before. The top 40 for Accra. Able correspondent. After Hours on TV3 every Friday night, 9 p.m.
After Hours with Mickey Osaibeko shows every Friday, 9 p.m. only on TV3. And supported by Connect FM 97.1 in Takrady.
Weekends are a bit like several of our days put into one for our sport-loving fans. Several top matches, top-level competitions, various sporting disciplines that have been spread across. It can get a bit confusing, but no more because of our new show, Warm Up. What would you do with over £200,000? You can't imagine, right? That is what your favorite footballer, Cristiano Ronaldo, earns per week. Now, let me show you this. That is one of the world's most expensive, a Cognizant CCXR Trevetta. Floyd Mayweather, he cruises into his gym with this. Now, would you like a tour to the Baby Jet Mansion? The Basilica is what it's called. Your Saturday mornings just got better. Join me, Thierry Nyan, from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. on TV3 and 3FM for more juicy information on your sports personalities and what they'll be doing when they're not kicking for fame and glory.
Warm Up shows every Saturday at 10 a.m. Make a date on TV3 and is brought to you by
MTN. Everywhere you go. Solak Herbal Mixture.
My heart burns like chili pepper in light soup. First time I saw you, I had high blood pressure, like a heavily salted meat. When I hear your voice, my chest begins to boil, like rice in an African pot. Your body fragrance, it's like chicken rice on a Sunday morning. When you hug me, my heart bakes like banana bread. Before I go to work, it melts like cheese on spaghetti in the evening. You are complete and all round, like a bune.
Say It With Food shows every Saturday, 6 p.m. right here on TV3. Brought to you by Indomie. Taste great.
People will live with the pain, and some of those who have lost property will have a difficult time recovering. But for the families of the deceased, life will never be the same.
It is a different thing having to read about a disaster, and it is another thing having to live through it. Obviously, friends, colleagues, and family of little Daniel Lai, 14-year-old, who passed away through the atomic junction gas explosion, having to live through the pain that comes with losing a dear one.
Daniel Lai, 14-year-old JHS 3 student of the Brookwood International School, met his untimely death on his way from classes that day.
Not hearing from him the night before the thing happened, I was disturbed. So when it happened, I have to walk all the way from here to the place because he comes from Hacho to here, this place. So we didn't see him, so I thought maybe he slept over a friend's place. So the next day we called his friends. They were like, they didn't see him, so we have to go around the police station. Until someone told us he saw that a car knocked him down. So we rushed to the hospital. We saw him there. To me, in a way, it's still like a dream to me.
His death remains a shock to his teachers and classmates.
I was surprised. I was shocked. In fact, I couldn't do anything at that moment.
When was the last time you saw him?
That was Friday.
He came to school on Friday, and we even had games together. He plays basketball, so we all play together. Little did we know that he will not come back.
Joyce Entry is Daniel's mother.
I plead
with Nana Akufo-Addo to really look at the siting of gas stations. It is killing people.
The 7 people who died in the disaster included a cameraman with Net2 TV, Muhammad Ashley Yakubu, and Mrs. Beatrice Finn, a trader at Medina Market. Beatrice's husband was with her on the night of the incident and recounts how she died.
When we closed from work, that we were coming home. So on reaching the junction, the market junction, that is where the explosion happened. So we saw a huge flame of light in the skies. We saw people running towards Race Junction. So we have to return. So we were on the pavement running together with my wife. But it was a little bit ahead of me. So all that I had was boom, a car has knocked about 3-4 people down. So there and there, I was at the scene. She was unconscious.
Queen, the eldest daughter, shared fond memories of her mom.
Sometimes we can't even go straight to our daddy because we are scared. He doesn't talk. So we'll talk to our mom, like bribe her and stuff like that. Then she'll talk to our daddy. So she was our everything. We didn't need anything from outside.
They want the government to show some concern in these trying moments.
Not only this family, there are other families outside there. The government should just compensate us so that we feel we are part. They care about us.
The havoc wreaked by the atomic gas explosion was no doubt enormous. 7 persons died and over 150 others with varying degrees of injuries. As of Tuesday, October 10, majority of those who sustained injury had been treated and discharged from the various hospitals. The Kekeli Hospital had discharged all 23 persons rushed there on the day of the incident. All 14 persons sent to the Medina Polyclinic had also been discharged. 16 out of the 26 persons taken to the Rich Hospital were still on admission, while 10 had been discharged. The Legon Hospital had only 2 out of the 35 persons still on admission. 2 persons had died at the 37 Military Hospital. 27 out of the 40 persons had been discharged, leaving 11 on admission. The Pentecost Hospital had discharged all 48 persons. 2 had died.
It was a lady and a gentleman. The lady passed on shortly after she reached us. She was just gasping for breath. She had suffered multiple injuries. I suppose that includes a neck injury, and I'm sure that could have possibly killed her. I think the autopsy will reveal the actual cause of death, but she sustained a head injury and some fractures. She actually did not have any burns on her body.
Doctors explained some of the injured could be on admission for more than a year. Never Again became the song of the entire country when the June 3 disaster struck. Right after the disaster, promises were made and directives issued. 3 years on, 8 of such disasters have occurred, but the narrative has not changed.
We owe it to the country, and the government is going to take this very seriously. Discussions were being held last night about the way forward. We wouldn't preempt too many things, but some new policies are going to come in. And those who will try to resist those new policies, I don't think they will be listened to.
It is time these incidents came to a stop in Ghana. We cannot continue with them. We are going to have to come out with a clear policy on how to prevent such incidents in the future.
Unfortunately, it is human. Human beings don't learn their lessons very well. I would have wished that when it happened at first, and we say never again, those who are involved in the sales of gas and fuel should consider the human aspect of it. We shouldn't put the blame on government. We ourselves should be responsible.
For how long are we going to look on as individuals perish in preventable disasters?
So a lot of tears, anguish, pain and wailing. But unfortunately, none of these can bring back little Daniel. Neither can it be an assurance of these things not happening again. The only thing that can help is a more pragmatic approach to dealing with this issue once and for all as a country.
For TV3 News, Catherine Frimpoma, Accra.
Welcome back. Let's get into the news segment now. The Daily Graphic this morning says police get big welfare package. It comes with a giant photo of the Inspector General of Police, Mr. David Asante Apieto. Ameri was best for Ghana, according to Dr. Kwabena Donko, immediate past power minister. Reprieve for sanctioned FM stations. That's with the photo of the Minister for Communications, Honorable Eslo Ekufu. The Ghanaian Times says sanctioned radio stations pardoned. To vet bill for Parliament soon. President amend law to pave way for election of MMDCs, IDEG, and 50,000 Ghana cedis insurance cover for police. The Daily Statement this morning says, protect nation, citizens. President tells new officer cadets, and BA chief sensitize citizens for new regions. The Daily Heritage reports that Woyume's assets on wanted list as Supreme Court affirms valuation of businessman's property, and tears flow for murdered Class 2 pupil. The Finder says mobile money fraud alarming, staff of telcos deeply involved. According to the police, Ghana's IDLO's victory for a collective effort, President says so. And NCA slashes FM stations fines by some 50%. The Daily Guide, which will be the final one, says Minister grilled over 510 million stinking Ameri deal and new Gamanche ensued. 50,000 insurance cover for police officers and beats Bukom Banku. My guest this morning, the Honorable Kwame Agboja, his MP for Adaklu. I call him the Adaklu Messiah. Welcome, Chief.
I'm just a representative of people of Adaklu.
And Reverend Intim Forjo is an honorable member of Parliament for the Asin North area. Asin South. Honorable, welcome as well.
Thank you, John.
Thank you very much. How are we doing?
Yeah, by the grace of God,
Monday morning.
well. Yeah.
So let's start on a sports note. Over the weekend, the Bukom Banku thing came up. It came right on the back of the our starlets. They couldn't deliver as much as we had expected them to. Honorable Agboja, quick thoughts about that.
Well, thank you very much. Good morning to everybody, especially those from the Adaklu constituency. Good morning to my very good friend, Reverend Forjo. Well, I think very interesting things happened over the weekend on the sports front. You know, not too long ago, the Commonwealth game came and gone, and I think a colleague asked a question in Parliament as to how we fared. I mean, it appears we need to do more in terms of preparation to see whether we target things. We can't go into games and think that we are just participating because it costs a lot of money. If we know we are not good at swimming, but we are just going in to just do something so that we build our capacity, let's have a target so that when we're going for a game, we say, okay, we're going. We are hoping to achieve bronze, or we are hoping to achieve this number of medals, so we can measure ourselves against it. It appears that is what is missing in what we are doing now. So I think the sports ministry can look at that. Secondly, unfortunately, we all had hope in the starlets. Surprisingly and painfully, they've been kicked out. You know that the Junior World Cup level, at a point in time, we were the lions in that territory.
Absolutely.
We won a couple of times. Everybody was afraid of us. These days, it looks like we are now the underdogs. And I think the caliber of players we took there, I mean, there were quite some exciting ones, but unfortunately, it didn't go on well. And then I think one beyond football, there was Ghana had a love affair with boxing. It dwindled a bit beyond Professor Azuma Nelson.
Azuma Nelson, right.
We were thinking Ikote was the next big thing we could have, but it didn't last. But then, to be honest, as we sit here, I don't think we still have a big boxing personality yet. But the Bukom Banku, other things that brought in, apart from the sports dimension, some entertainment dimension, and I think Ghanaians enjoyed it. Unfortunately, I didn't watch the match, but I think it was.
Are we making progress in the area of sports? Is that
well? I think for me, looking at the crowd there at the national, the arena alone tells me we are moving. We are moving. If you watch, if they tell you that, if they don't tell you that is Ghana, you probably wouldn't be able, because that facility is Ghana. And for me, the availability of those facilities, and I know some individuals have put up gyms to train the young generation of boxers. I think we'll get there. For me, it was more of the entertainment value than anything else, because, I mean, yeah, it's good boxing, but then we'll get there. We'll get there.
Azuma Nelson's fight nights has had round 4. I've had opportunity to announce for 2 of those fight nights by the legendary professor himself. We put that together to encourage the boys. But Rev, is it your opinion that we're making progress in the area of sports? Football, we really couldn't get it. Then boxing and all of that.
Good morning, John, and thank you again for the opportunity to be here. And a good morning to our cherished viewers. Particularly those doing the viewing from Asin South constituency, and a good morning to my senior colleague in Parliament, Honorable Agboja. We must commend the under-17 squad that we sent to India. They have performed very tremendous. One player that I even want to single out for commendations, our goalkeeper, a 14-year-old goalkeeper who for 4 matches had conceded only 1 goal. Albeit we had to exit from the competition, but the performance was sterling, and we commend them highly. Some people hold the view that if not for the challenges, the downpour on the day of the match, which challenged them, if they were challenged in playing the ground game, and anytime they lifted it, obviously our opponents were taller. They had an advantage over us. We commend them, we congratulate them. And it's also exciting to see the progress that we are seeing in our boxing front. And congratulations to the Ghana Boxing Authority. And this is an encouragement to them to even want to explore further opportunities in taking boxing in Ghana to another level. But what happened over the weekend with the match, I would want to also again congratulate Bukom Bankun and Basti Samil for a very decent fight. It was the value for money was given. I mean, spectators had value for what they paid for. The massive crowd, the spectators that that shows that the boxing in Ghana and sports in general is developing, and we would have to sustain that and ensure that we would have
sustaining that will mean a lot of investment. And Honorable Aguja raises a key question about us sometimes throwing money away, for want of a better expression. We know that, well, we will not win this, and yet we go and invest money and put ourselves in there. If we don't support them at home and make sure that they are well baked to go and compete on the international scene, why would we push them there anyway?
Yeah, I think it's also important that we recognize that there are a number of sporting activities and a number of emerging sports activities that have not been very familiar in Ghana, but we have to develop our sports beyond the very common ones that we know as soccer and the other events that we know, and put in investments that will harness the talents that are emerging in Ghana, and put our facilities for rugby and other events. And for a start, we may not be able to excel in the emerging sports, but with time we'll be able to have a strategic plan, and we can say in the next 5 years, 10 years, we would be counted among the countries that are excelling in some of these emerging sports. So that the focus will not only be on sports and Black Stars, on soccer and Black Stars, but we would have, you know, even out the investment and attention that we give to the other minor sports as well. We have great potential there, and I think we can explore that.
Finally, I mean, Bukom Bankun is being trolled on social media. People are mocking him and saying all manner of things. I mean, our own Tilapia has put it out there. Is it good? Is it bad?
I think it's wrong, because don't forget, for a very long period of time, he was the embodiment of boxing in Ghana. The fact that he's lost the match doesn't, in fact, the hype was built around him.
This was his first.
Yes, the hype was built around him. So if people begin to think that, and it's a kind of a Ghanaian thing, when a hero falls, people think they mock at it. In other jurisdiction, when a hero falls, he falls with the people still clapping for him. With honor. When somebody is substituted in a football match somewhere else, when you watch, everybody gets up and clap for him. This place, maybe the people will mock you. I don't think he should feel down. He's still a hero in terms of football. Let other people come up. They congratulate the person who has won. But let's be honest. He's done well for keeping the hype around football. Who knows? He can win
boxing,
the next fight. Yeah, boxing, exactly.
But some have concerns that he's not training, he's not behaving like a boxer, his lifestyle is changed.
Well, you know, then I bet they go somewhere else and see people, when they finish fight, use the cash to lay bed and sleep on it with ladies on both sides. Another thing, I think it's just a general thing that certain sports come beyond the sports on the field.
Okay.
Some of the hype is also the lifestyle. I will not condone any misbehavior, I mean, foul language or anything. But I think it's all part of the hype.
30 seconds for you, Reverend, then we'll move on to other issues.
Yeah, one may have concerns about the personal life of Bukom Bankun, but that is the opinion of the public, of any individual. They are entitled to their rights. But one thing we can't take away is the contribution that this man has given into the boxing, you know, industry, and the whole, you know, sensation around him. In other jurisdictions, there's always that one person in that particular sport. In the United States, I mean, we know the Tyson and some controversies. It's all part of the industry, and it's all part of the commerce. I mean, it's sometimes some of those hypes are very important for revenue, and like we know in various jurisdictions, we've had heroes like Vladimir Klitschko falling. We have Tyson. We've had Muhammad Ali. All these, you know, heroes at some point in time had lost fights, and we must not take that credit away from him. The immense contribution that he continues to offer to the boxing industry.
Let's move on. Of course, we are big on your comments, so share them with us. 0508235228. Let's read from you on social media as well. We're big on your comments. But let's get into Parliament. I'm happy both of you are parliamentarians. The Ameri deal has come up again. Dr. Kwabena Donkor, former energy minister, power minister, is before the Committee on Mines and Energy, and he's been answering questions. It does appear like the minority versus the majority, and it looks as if what we saw before the Ameri deal was signed is a reverse of what we're seeing today. Is that the case, Honorable Aguja?
Well, thank you very much. In Parliament, there are rules of engagement. We have our standing orders, largely based on the Constitution. So what we can do and what we can't do in Parliament is quite clear. If you want to go to the, if you want to remind ourselves, how did we get to require Ameri to provide us with energy? I mean, it was after a very painful period where every Ghanaian business, individuals, hospitals, schools were suffering from inadequate supply of energy due to lack of a long period of underinvestment in the sector. We can't develop this country without a reliable source of energy, whether it's one district, one factory, whatever. You need a reliable source of energy, an affordable one. Now, we came to a point in time where Akosombo wasn't doing very well because once climate change is affecting the water didn't come into the dam that much. Our thermal plants, we built a couple of them, but they were relying on foreign energy, which is gas from Nigeria, which we knew never was consistent in terms of supply to at least the thermal plants along the coast towards Tema and other areas. And then at the same time, we were investing heavily in building our own gas infrastructure, that Tuabo and other things were being done. But the problem was that we didn't have the connectivity to pipe the gas from, how do you call it, the western region to the many of the thermal plants in the Greater Accra region as of that time. So we needed a stopgap measure which would stop the let's say, the doom stop for a period of time. So you should see this in a context of when you have a scarce resource or you are in trouble, and what you can do, and when you don't have any problem. Today, I'm sure when somebody comes to say we want to build thermal plant in Ghana, the level of the negotiation will be different because we are not desperate to get thermal energy, because we have, in fact, today we have excess energy. We have more energy than we require today. So when people begin to look at Ameri as if we had everything going well for us, and then why did we spend that much money? We need to understand that.
Are the claims for the $150 million, Katie Amon, for example, has been very strong on that, and is using that as a basis to ask Parliament to rescind this decision that they took on Ameri. Are those calls justified?
Well, I can tell you something that I know as an industry player, not energy, but an industry. You can get somebody, I can tell you the price, how much I bought this tablet.
Right.
You can get somebody who can say, I can get it for you cheaper than you've got it. It is possible that is true. And I am saying that if today we don't have any problem with energy, at least for I know now, if somebody says today we could have gotten it cheaper, it could be a reasonable call, but we can look into it. But what the problem some of us have is this: every bill that comes to Parliament in current form comes from the executive. So there's a cabinet. I mean, even if it's from an agency, it goes through the respective ministry, and then it goes through cabinet. Cabinet puts a memo on it, and then the bill comes to Parliament. We pass it. Then it goes back to the agency to sign our agreement. Once Parliament completes that cycle, and then there's anything, government changes, they want to have a look at it, we think the process should start again with government. So government can say that, okay, we have problem with the cost of Ameri. We, government, once again, will come under a cabinet memo. Parliament look at this and then take the necessary step. Then that one is up to Parliament to see whether it is within our right.
Were those things done?
No, somebody read a statement.
Right.
Then, or a memo. Then it was referred to a committee of Parliament. But a speaker referred it. So basically, I am not even sure whether the territory in which we are, I'm not against people asking questions, asking for things to be done. It's a democracy. We all can think the same way. But I'm saying that if a government went through a process of procuring a thermal plant for us that we'll own in a couple of years' time, and somebody says it's too expensive, let's review it. NDC is not government. Parliament did not sign any agreement. I think Cabinet should take the decision and say, we are bringing this bill, this thing back to you. We want you to review it. Not an individual coming to say that it's forcing government to do the. At the end of the day,
but Katie Hammond's, Honorable Katie Hammond's tune hasn't changed right from the get-go when the issues of Mary started. I mean, he was very vociferous about them, and he has maintained the issues he's raising.
You mean right from the day the bill was passed? He didn't partake in the motion and everything.
You're in Parliament. So
yeah, that's
the same things he's been saying.
I thought I hardly see Honorable Katie Hammond oppose vehemently thing, because to be honest, in Parliament at committee level, we don't work on NPP, NDC. That's for a fact. We look at things dispassionately. That is what I'm saying. That it doesn't matter what Honorable Katie Hammond is saying. If what he's saying makes sense to
doesn't make sense.
No, he's making I haven't seen anything. I'm just saying that as far as I'm aware, this agreement was signed at a time that we're desperate for power. If I'm told that it's probably one of the cheapest thermal plants we have today in terms of the cost per kilowatt-hour we produce today. If somebody says we can get it cheaper, it is not that Katie Hammond is part of government. He can use the channel to convince cabinet that, look, we think we can do this. Come to Parliament on the back of a cabinet memo, ask Parliament to do specific things.
We're very much aware of the processes. Yes. Where we've gotten to now is to know whether we did due diligence, whether we got the best deal for government or for the country. In your opinion, you have followed the issues.
Yes.
Did we do a good job for Ghana?
Well, it will be difficult. Look, I sit sometimes and I say we spent $700 million on Dam, which we call a picking plant. In other words, if the dam hasn't got money, it's just a white elephant standing there. Somebody will say, if we use $700 million, we would have built something else. Maybe if we took it to solar, because there's no shortage of the sun, we would have derived more energy. To somebody, it will make sense, but to somebody no. Once we have water in the dam, it is.
Does the Ameri deal make sense to you?
For me today, the fact that we don't have any doomsaw because of the contribution of Ameri, because it produces power cheaper than many of the power we have. If there's any idea of the price being too much, I say it's within the remit of this government.
You're not answering my question. Does the Ameri deal make sense to you?
I haven't seen anything that because look, when you say
does the Ameri deal,
it makes sense to me. But if you ask me, Parliament have passed laws.
Okay.
And then the next time we came back and changed it.
Let's Reverend enter at this point. So Dr. Kwabena Donkor says Ameri was the best we could ever get.
Within
yes, at that time, and he gave the same reasons that Honorable Agboje is giving. That look, we had gone through 3 years, we had difficulties, industries were collapsing, and we needed power. So it was the best we got, and that rescinding the decision would break investor confidence in Ghana and will make things difficult for us. What do you say?
In respect of the Ameri deal, I have followed it closely. Though I'm not a member of the Mines and Energy Committee, I have taken keen interest in attending their meetings and following closely the developments that has come with this agreement. It is widely acknowledged that Ghana at a point in time had a need that needed to be met, and for which resources of the nation had to be committed in providing solution. We also recognize that even under conditions of emergency, it is still very in place, and it's not out of place, and it is proper, and it is the duty of government to ensure that in procuring solutions to our emergency situations, the concept and factor of value for money is not glossed over. That must be acknowledged and factored in. Now, following the transaction, Parliament has duly ratified the agreement that was entered between the executive and Ameri Group. And upon hindsight, some very serious misrepresentations and irregularities, which have grave ramification even to the very legitimacy of the agreement, came up. Though Honorable Katie Hammond was the ranking member at the time, upon hindsight, he has had additional information which go to constitute misrepresentation, saying that these information at the time Parliament ratified the agreement were not were not given.
Is it not too late?
And some
is it not too late for
I
him
will
to make
I'll land on the point. And even when the approval had been given, it is always, it's not out of place in our law, in our rule of law, to have a review of the agreement. Now, let me even take it from the antecedents.
A review that seeks to
I'll build a point. See, I've looked at this issue, I mean, in the most dispassionate manner, and that is how I want to maintain the consistency.
I'm only asking questions.
Not on partisan lines. Yeah, I understand. Now, we've had the Addison Committee review the agreement. We've had subsequent to that, Pricewaterhouse also reviewing. They've all corroborated the point that there is some inflation to the tune of $150 million, which means that though Ghana procured the solution and under condition of emergency, Ghana was shortchanged by $150 million.
Mary is a business person.
So now the options
they can decide, as Honorable Abu just said, that they decide to sell it to you at what price.
So the point I'm building is that Mary is a businessman, and who protects the interests of the businessman? They do. And they have entered into an agreement with the people of Ghana, whose mandate and whose duty is it to protect the interest of the nation. So the one whose responsibility to protect the interest of the nation, to ensure Ghana is not shortchanged through, it is very constitutional. And let me just take you to Article 297 of the Constitution of Ghana. Okay. And here to say that it is the powers is vested in the Parliament of Ghana to ratify any international agreement the executive will enter into. And by that same powers in Article 297 of the Constitution, the B portion says, where a power is conferred or a duty is imposed, the power may be exercised and the duty shall be performed from time to time. Now, from time to time, as occasion requires. Now, let me take you again to the same Constitution, Article 103, Clause 3. Committees of Parliament shall be charged with such functions, including the investigation and inquiry into the activities and administration of ministries and departments as Parliament may determine, and such investigation inquiries may extend to proposals for legislation. So it is the duty of Parliament, even after having ratified an agreement and having subsequent to the execution of the agreement had cause to believe that there were misrepresentations, there were irregularities, and the agreement in the process of executing, Ghana has been shortchanged. We owe it a duty as Parliament to institute an inquiry into such allegations, and when it's established, to go through the due processes. Now, see, we have standing orders that regulate our activities in Parliament.
What do you say to the thought that, well, we did it at the time when we had difficulties, and the difficulties had been curtailed. Now we have respites. Businesses are running everything, and so you could launch your one district, one factory, one village, one dam, and all the others that come along with it. So now going back to rescind such a deal, which will perhaps send us back into the dark days. Yeah, it's not the best. Let
me even clarify the motion, the urgent motion that was moved by. These are technicalities, right? So we need to take our time on it. The urgent motion that was moved in line with the provisions of our standing orders in Parliament. Now, Parliament plays by rules, right? And such a decision will have to first appear in the form of a motion. When the urgent motion was moved, it was to seek Parliament to rescind the decision taken to ratify. So it does not expressly affect the validity of the agreement that is between the executive and Ameri. Right. It is only revoking the ratification that was hitherto given upon subsequent information
and transfer. Is that it?
Government and a business entity can come into an agreement. Okay. When it's an international agreement, it requires Parliament to ratify that agreement that has been entered into between them. So you have the agreement done and then brought to Parliament for ratification subsequent to the entering into the agreement. Now, Parliament seeks to rescind that decision to ratify. It would not in any way invalidate the agreement that is existing. But what he's saying is that if we knew, on hindsight, if we knew this information...
Does it take a portion of the deal away?
It does not, but it has implications for the agreement. Now, what it says is that you have entered into an agreement. We didn't have these information that upon hindsight have been discovered, and we feel that Ghana has been shortchanged. It is our most patriotic duty to protect. No, so
you have said that before. So this urgent motion, if it's carried, what happens?
It is rescinding the ratification, and then the decision will lie with government to take the necessary steps as per the decision the executive will take. Now, there are options available. If we have noticed that there's short change, no one is preempting that the contract must be abrogated with implications. But we must acknowledge that there are opportunities to even seek for review. There are, I mean, you see, if I'm to go into the details of the
government of the day do any wrong?
Let me paint the right picture to you.
Hold on, Doc. Did the government of the day do any wrong in dealing with the Ameri deal? Let me signing it. We don't have too much time. That's why.
Yes, that's why I'm not going into the details. But if I'm to give you the facts,
you've done a lot of detail.
Yeah, if I'm to give you the fact that constitutes what I call attempt misrepresentation, the non-disclosures, the lack of full disclosures, and even let me just
that
give
will
you
be
a
the
very
basis
simple
of Katie
picture.
Hammond's agent motion.
Let me give you a very simple picture. This whole deal was contracted, and then let's say if I'm Mary, I come into a deal with you. And I take $510 million dollars, and then I go and then sublet it to another sublet it to another, and then that's all the role I played. Meanwhile, I disclosed in the course of executing that agreement that I was the one going to execute all this. So the only role that Mary played was just to sign the agreement under the pretext of all the information they gave, which turned out to be false, to sublet to a third party and to sublet. And then in the process, $150 million just was sort of a middle.
Can I ask you a quick question?
Was a middleman role that was.
Can I ask you a quick question?
This is a simple picture that I can play. But if you want to go into the legal
picture, I want to ask a simple
details.
question on your simple picture that you just painted. So this bottle of water right in front of you, I tell you that I can give you the bottle of water. So I have the bottle of water. Honorable Kwame Agboja is my agent.
Yes.
Mr. Boy is also my agent. And they all work with me.
But those disclosures were not done. No.
Did you demand for it? That's the question.
Yes, there were disclosures that were made. Even declaring capacity.
Were they demanded?
There were disclosures that were made. And that is what constitutes the misrepresentations that I'm telling you. So, see, this urgent motion, I've gone through all the document, the evidence, and all that. And I'm saying here that it's a simple thing. Parliament is only, and constitutionally, if Parliament fails to take this action, I mean, we will be held accountable by the people of Ghana.
Okay.
That upon discovering there was shortchanging of the government, what steps were taken? I'm here. I mean, if this motion goes through, the executive have, and that's the recommendation given by the Addison Committee. Right. The government, even though they detected elements of fraud which vitiates the agreement, they recommended that the government must just enter into a review with Mary to seek better terms. It is not to entirely preempt abrogation, and that opportunity has not been explored.
And that's the fear of most Ghanaians.
That is opportunity.
And that's the fear of most Ghanaians.
It's just review, so we can review, having on hindsight, having known that these were the actual activities that were to take place.
You are source within government. What does this urgent motion seek to do?
Is it to remove? It seeks to remove the ratification. Okay. The agreements. These are very legal.
So it's not a turf war.
No.
It's not a turf war. NDC.
For instance, no. For instance, you and Honorable Agboja have entered into an agreement. The powers is vested in me by nature of that agreement to ratify it. And then I have ratified it. For instance, maybe my daughter brings a man home and then says, "Daddy, I want to." She's 11, maybe in the next 10 years or so. But Daddy, I want to marry this man. And then I said, "Oh, you have my blessing because of certain information that were given." Right. Now, subsequent to the marriage, I discovered that there were misrepresentations.
They would have been married. They would have been pregnant.
So
they
at
would
that
have
point,
had babies. What do you do?
And at that point,
do you call for a divorce?
It's just an analogy that I'm giving. Just an analogy that I'm giving. That withdrawing that blessing. These were the information that was given or not given upon discovery. I'm just withdrawing. This doesn't fit in exactly well, but that's just the simplest picture because this is a very legalistic way. I'm just trying to find simpler ways to explain. So it does not vitiate the marriage that they have entered into, but the ratification has been withdrawn. And then I would not be able to preempt what is subsequently going to happen. But I recommend that the government must review with Ameri that agreement and seek better terms for Ghana. No one is calling for abrogation. If you understand these procedures, these are technical procedures in legislature, and that is where the NDC seems to be confusing it. Ratification is no abrogation of contract.
Okay,
it's just removing the parliamentary assent on that.
Let me
quickly,
clarify.
one minute.
The government of Ghana cannot enter into an agreement with an international financial agreement without Parliament. When you remove Parliament, when Parliament withdraws this, it means that the agreement is invalidated for this. Secondly, every enforceable contract have got review clauses, termination clauses in it. And I'm saying that it doesn't have to come to Parliament. Executive can take the decision of review without the use of Parliament. And then the third one, which is very important, we are going to set a precedence that, of course, I've always said here, in the past 3 years, no government can rule Ghana forever. If you don't take time, the next government would take it, whether NDC, whatever, will take it like it is now a precedent.
Is that not what you politicians do?
No, I don't remember.
It's more like musical chairs.
No,
when there's a swap of power.
Any agreement entered to by any government that the next government doesn't like can decide we are going to review it. Because it has become a norm. If you see, not even international agreement, simple road contracts. The contract document can tell you what to do when the contractor misbehaves, consultant misbehaves. They've been stopped to say we are going to do a review. I think we are in a very dangerous territory. I don't think there's anything wrong if we want to call for a review.
Is that not what, for me, look, politicians do this to us all the time.
And then the last thing about a third party, my brother, people should be careful here. If I'm a contractor, especially BOT, or let's say design and build, and I say that you give me a performance criteria. I want a power that you can sell at a certain price over a certain period of time, and I give you. It is not your job to find out where I buy bolts and all you need to do is say the things.
Are you not? Hold on. When you're entering into
you
didn't have to disclose. Where are you obtaining funding from?
I never interjected. I'm saying that certain parts of the agreement is about performance. If you say, where would I get my turbines from, the combustion turbines from? I say, I'll get it from here. Did I get them from there? The margins I make, once we agree, you can't come back and tell me that you made more margin. But even if that's what you want to do, you can do that. But he says that this disclosure, look, we were here. When the 2.2 billion, 2.25 billion. Hold on.
Let's not get into that.
Let me tell you what this is. It's about non-disclosure.
Right.
When the finance minister, when the finance minister came to Parliament, and we even asked for certain details, you were told that certain information cannot be disclosed because it's confidential. So I am saying that
was it the same case? Was it
the same?
Hold on, Rev. Was it the same as the Ameri deal?
You see, I never uttered a word when my
apologies. Let me apologize.
We can do this.
Apologize. But I'm saying you're mentioning 2.25 billion. The issues of non-disclosure, were they the same in the case of Ameri?
Yes, Parliament called for details of who are the details. The term sheets were brought vaguely. Another thing, we demanded, we were told those information are confidential. I'm just saying that it is not true that every contract can become like something that you can publish every detail. There's no contract in this world that you can say that all the details that are required are on the market. And I'm saying that the NPP can go on this and demand a review of the contract. Nobody's against it. But use due process. And we are saying that you cannot...
Are they doing something else? There's an urgent motion in Parliament.
I am saying that the agreement was brought to Parliament by the executive. Now they are trying to use the hand of Katie Hammond to force Parliament to do something. I'm saying that the government must be bold to say we want to terminate or review Ameri contract. Let the Flagstaff House...
Is that an assumption?
No, that is not an assumption. That is what happens in Parliament because it's a significant deal. So we want to see a memo.
You're mentioning the hand of government. Is that an assumption that's a higher hand, a hidden hand?
I am here to see an NPP person who is speaking differently from...
Anyway.
Listen, but you see, we can do this.
We'll take some messages.
Let the executive come to Parliament and say that they want to rescind or review the agreement. That would be a bold decision.
I think it's fair that I wrap up my comments.
Okay.
Yeah.
30 seconds for you, I beg you.
Yeah.
We've run out of all the time.
What has happened in certain jurisdictions is something that Ghana should copy. In Israel, a prime minister was jailed, and then after 7 2/3 of his jail term was granted pardon. These were offenses that he committed even during his tenure, not as prime minister, but as trade minister some time ago. You see, the fact that some agreement has been entered into, and then subsequent to the execution, certain irregularities have come up. It will be a negligence on the part of Parliament not to take any action.
Okay.
It is not to suggest that change any. In subsequent to any turnover, every agreement must be abrogated.
Okay.
That is not the point.
Well made.
But any review that seeks better term for Ghana,
thank you, Ref.
must be.
Skywalker in Takrady says, we thank the President for the 50,000 insurance cover for Ghana Police Service. Indeed, Ghana is working again. Greetings to Honorable Kobe, Nab, and Nanajua. Thank you very much. It serves Bukom Banku right. He talks too much. I don't think he will fight again in his entire lifetime. Congratulations to Basti. He really thought Africa may were their lesson. Aziz Donline was says the manager of Bukom Banku shouldn't have allowed him to continue the fight up to round 7. It was obviously obvious that Banku was weak at round 6, hence his defeat. Is disheartening to watch the video. However, better luck next time to Bukom Banku. As for Basti, you spoiled my Sunday because I was so saddened with their humiliation. Aziz Donline, please. My name is Erica Dai in Kumasi Ashtown. It says, I want to tell you to tell GS and Ministry of Education, we the newly trained teachers are still in the house waiting for our postings within, you say this week, or else we'll hit the streets on Wednesday. Mohammed Peter from Tamale says, I think no matter what happened to Banku, remain a hero in this country is in terms of boxing. Okay. Ejadam Enyan Miam says the minority in parliament has, say again. Okay, Nyamem says the minority in parliament has been very fervent with its opposition to every single policy the Akufo-Addo Bawumia-led administration has propounded. They have displayed their aversions to these policies through press conferences, which have largely been determined and concluded to be obtuse. Now it has been established that one of the antidotes to shut the minority up is the introduction of the scandalous AmeriPower deal. They are fleeing from Parliament just because the issue is being reincarnated. When dry bones are mentioned, the old lady feels discomforted. AU Farouk in Tamale says the closure of some FM stations by NCA is a total sabotage directive they took. Good morning to you out there. Please tell the MP from Adaklu that he should do something about the Adaklu roads because the district assembly at the Adaklu wire, okay, Zaire, they are now constructing only wire roads, means that meanwhile all towns surrounding wire are all not good roads and a lot of potholes, the food staff there, but they don't have access to the roads. He should please do something about it. Kwame, this is for you. They're asking you to do something.
I think it's a reasonable call. So
but we're wrapping up, and our time is gone. 1 minute each. The NCA has cut 50% of the sanctions is slapped, or the fines is slapped on media stations. Quick one. 1 minute for you.
Yeah, we must support our regulatory authorities for the diligent actions taken to actually take action on non-compliant operators. And I'm glad that subsequent to the action taking, there were certain, concerns that came up. But thankfully, unanimously as a society, we are supporting NCA. Let us support them to ensure that rules and regulations are well kept, and by extension, other agencies whose mandate it is to regulate certain sectors of the economy to make sure that the rules that we have set actually work. We move away from the rhetorics and the perception that in Ghana we make laws, we don't enforce them. Let the implementing agencies and the regulatory authorities enforce laws.
You have the final word on this one.
Yes, I think I'm not against...
Is the minority happy?
I'm not against the NCA trying to enforce something, but we need to look at the role the media play. I think, for me personally, I think for this time round, forgive everybody and let's start on the clean sheet, because we know that there are so many government agencies, even including NCA. If we want to find out whether they've done everything diligently, will be found wanting. The reason for
is that an excuse?
The reason for stopping the stations is financial rather than content. To me, that is immoral. If we stop free media because they haven't paid, you are not helping the media.
Morality and the law, where does it meet?
Well, no, they are very quite divergent. But what I'm saying, what I'm saying is that nobody is against NCA implementing the law, but if a station is closed down simply because they didn't make 100 million Ghana cedi and can pay 60 million, look, do you know that majority of media houses in this country don't hardly break even? Okay. The NCA shouldn't work on the basis of how much money they can make.
Mrs. Dugan said we need to go.
Okay.
Reverend Intim Fojo is the member of parliament for the Asin South constituency, and Honorable Kwame Akboja is the MP for Adakle. I guess this morning. On that note, let me say a happy birthday to you, Mr. William Ajimabeko. Clean Hand Motors, you are 65 years today. This is from Kwabna Idujemfi, your nephew. Happy birthday to you. If it's your birthday today, enjoy. Sports is up next. Enjoy some more action here on New Day.
Namaste. Hell's down heaven now, living in the same town, trying to find something new. This ain't rain, snow, no
Hello, I'm home. Hello. Jumbo.
This is the life story of Griselda Blanco, the true definition of a dark widow, coming from Mexico with nothing but the desire to survive and be successful.
Guys, welcome to New York.
Her life revolves around men and revenge.
Get that gun off my face! No, please don't touch me!
Shut up.
Please.
Just be quiet. It'll be okay, Griselda. Go ahead, just kill me like you killed my son, that boy you mercilessly shot from the back. Your death by the electric chair has already been approved. Is there anything that you would like to say?
I just want to say that we're going to see each other again.
And if you dare cross her, you might not live to regret it.
Tell me you took my son. Come on, tell me where my son is!
Watch the new, exciting Griselda Blanco, The Dark Widow, a tale of love and hate. Griselda Blanco, The Dark Widow, premiering on Tuesday, 24th October at 9 p.m. only on TV3. Don't miss it.
Brought to you by Solak Herbal Mixture and supported by Connect FM 97.1 in Takrade. 6. The 7th Adonko RTP Awards is brought to you by Adonko Bitters, Jazz Washing Powder, Unibank, Special Drinks, Ines Fly Paint, Stadia Boutique, GH Media School, Sumisura by Abdul, Glory Oil, Holiday Inn Accra Airport, Innovate Advertising, Eden Security, African Homecoming Project, DSTV Ghana, GoTV Ghana, SICK Microfinance, Royal Dede Hotels, and Vital Fruit Drinks. The 7th Adonko RTP Awards, the night we all dream in gold. This event is powered by Big Events Ghana.
Double left hand by Shipyard. Here goes Messi. Yes, Jordan Ayew now with a chip.
Bolt going very, and here comes Usain Bolt! Usain Bolt storming through, he takes it again, Blake!
Sports Station shows every Monday at 9 p.m. on TV3 and is brought to you by Cowbell, Our Milk, Malta Guinness, and Betway. TV3 at 20, reshaping news and creating stars.
Right, so welcome back to New Day. It's now time to do sports here on TV3. My name is Yao Ofusulabi. Now let's get to our first story, where in the end, the teams that got promoted this season are the same teams who were shown the exit door. Boga All Stars, Tema Youth, and Accra Great Olympics will spend next season in Ghana's lower tier. Tema Youth lost by 2-0 to Brekum Chelsea. Great Olympics, albeit all the antics and superstition, could not produce a performance worthy of note far away in Bechem. For Boga All Stars, it was a case of the same story but a different day as they fell again to the mysterious dwarfs at the Cape Coast Stadium. Inter-Allies needed a draw to stay in the league, and they got that at the Accra Sports Stadium, where they played out a goalless draw with FA Cup finalists Accra Hearts-of-Oak. And likewise, Liberty Professionals also did it at the Dansoman Karl Reindorf Park, where they beat Kumasi Asante Kotoko by 2-1 to stay in the league. Well, so that's match day 30 there, and Inter-Allies were able to escape relegation in there. But let's go over to the board now and look at the results for yesterday's fixtures there. And Ashanti Gold beating Adriana Stars by 4-2. Ashanti Gold needed the
No. Need an effort account a friend give us coal capsules. Say yes, is Yarra and a wall swore. Coal the do nip a dream when in a walk for sa a mamma and Tima Winja would name you. Give us coal capsules, obey free. Lawyer, give us coal capsules. And I give us pink capsules. And they give us free.
And men, what if you do what you do, Cronquan, Efra? Give us coal capsules. A pill for a batter, one more menu for an Quadawan if you do me a.
This is the life story of Griselda Blanco, the true definition of a dark widow, coming from Mexico with nothing but the desire to survive and be successful.
Guys, welcome to New York.
Her life revolves around men and revenge.
Get that gun off my face! No, please don't touch me!
Shut up!
Please.
Just be quiet. It'll be okay, Griselda. Go ahead, just kill me like you killed my son, that boy you mercilessly shot from the back! Your death by the electric chair has already been approved. Is there anything that you would like to say?
I just want to say that we're going to see each other again.
And if you dare cross her, you might not live to regret it.
Tell me you took my son. Come on, tell me where my son is!
Watch the new, exciting Griselda Blanco, The Dark Widow, a tale of love and hate. Griselda Blanco, The Dark Widow, premiering on Tuesday, 24th October at 9 p.m. only on TV3. Don't miss it.
Brought to you by Solak Herbal Mixture and supported by Connect FM 97.1 in Takrady. Year after year, we've been rewarding explicit radio and television personalities and content that took over the airwaves. It's the 7th year and it's going to be more rewarding. The 7th Adonko RTP Awards 2017. Who carries the awards slated for the various categories? Let's converge at the International Conference Center on 28th of October 2017, 8 p.m. sharp, and witness the highly anticipated 7th Adonko RTP Awards with massive performances from the evergreen, sexy dancehall queen, Ebony, Kel Songs, and one big surprise artist who is the man of the moment. Special guest of honor, His Excellency Dr. Mahamadou Bawumia, Vice President of the Republic of Ghana. Present at the ceremony will be His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, former President of the Republic of Ghana, and Dr. Bwedi Nyamiche, Head Pastor, the Makers House Chapel International. Tickets go for 200 Ghana cedis ground floor and 100 Ghana cedis upper floor. You can buy tickets at Silverbed Cinemas, Kuala, Peace FM, Airport Shell, West Hills Mall, Achimota Mall, and Junction Mall. For TV3 to win more awards, vote for us now. For TV3 to win Television Station of the Year award, text RTP TV3 to 1446. For Media General Group, to win Media Group of the Year award, text RTP Media General to 1446. The 7th Adonko RTP Awards is brought to you by Adonko Bitters, Jazz Washing Powder, Unibank, Special Drinks, Ines Fly Paint, Stadia Boutique, GH Media School, Sumisura by Abdul, Glory Oil, Holiday Inn Accra Airport, Innovate Advertising, Eden Securities, African Homecoming Project, DSTV Ghana, GoTV Ghana, SICK Microfinance, Royal Dede Hotels, and Vital Fruit Drinks. The 7th Adonko RTP Awards.
Welcome back. We're going to talk about the National Digital Address System because it was rolled out, it's been launched. I don't know if you've tried the app, but I haven't. It seems to work. But definitely we need to delve into it so we can all understand how it works and what we can do to benefit from that. And joining me to talk about it, I have Mr. James Kofi. He's the acting MD for Ghana Post Company Limited. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Welcome to TV3 New Day.
Thank you for having me.
You're most welcome. So let's delve into it. I mean, the big question is how Ghana Post came to be a beneficiary of this National Digital Address System, because obviously that's not your direct mandate. Tell me a little about that.
Well, the government of Ghana, as part of its initiatives to turn around SOEs, selected Ghana Post as the host of the digital property addressing system. In fact, it's in line with a larger mandate of formalizing the economy. You know, in terms of formalizing the economy, one of the two big pillars are National Digital Addressing System and then National Identification System. So it just, the government of Ghana, you know, basically blessed Ghana Post by allowing us to host such a legacy project. So to speak.
This is a financial, I mean, this will come with huge financial demands. How ready was Ghana Post situated to take on this role?
Well, the government of Ghana financed everything. So, again, we were blessed to be in the right place.
But moving forward, how does Ghana Post plan to take up this initiative and make sure it works? Because already there have been challenges. We've identified a few, which definitely would say with every new program there's bound to be. But how do you plan to work it out to make it work?
Well, Ghanaians have overwhelmingly embraced the digital property addressing system. If I as we speak now, I believe there are about 120,000 downloads so far in less than a week. The media has also been very supportive in explaining, you know, to all Ghanaians how the system and application should be used, and we are very grateful for that. Obviously, with any system, when you roll it out, you will have one or two technical issues. We've had issues around communications of the how-to, and also we've had issues around security. We have a team that is monitoring all the social media and other news sites, and then passing all the information to the technical team. And a lot of these concerns are being checked as we speak. In fact, some of them have been checked and updates have been made for some already. So it's an ongoing process. We do believe that within a very short time, we'll be able to fix a lot of the issues that have been mentioned.
Very well. But how would this affect the role of post offices in Ghana across the country? Because as it was before, mainly you would go there to write, either deliver your letter so that it will be delivered elsewhere. What exactly are these offices going to do? And subsequently, do we see the offices fading away as you take on this role?
Not at all. What is going to happen is that in terms of our 4-year strategy at Ghana Post, we have a number of key pillars. These pillars are e-commerce, on which the digital addressing system is going to come and support, so that we can now do door-to-door services reliably and at a very cost-efficient manner. We also have the traditional services, which we are just going to work to slow the rate of decline, even though we know that the size of it is declining. We are also going to increase our presence in financial services. As most of you know, we are into EMS, mobile money transfers, and so on. We are looking at going into agency banking with some established banking partners. And then finally, the e-services, which is the project of the Ministry of Communications. And again, we are blessed that it sits with Ghana Post. And these e-services are meant to have financial inclusion and also bring services very close to the doorstep of people in the rural areas. So with all this, we believe that we can take full advantage of the digital addressing system and within a short time, it should be able to pay for itself.
Very well. So let's go to the Ghana Post app itself. Obviously, there's been a confusion as to whether it's the same as Asase GPS or they're different. But even before that, when we get into it, how do I get access to the app and how do I use it?
Sure. There are two main ways in which you can basically register your address. The first way is through a smartphone.
Okay.
If you have a smartphone, you just go online, you go to the Play Store, and then you look for the Ghana Post GPS.
Right.
You download it, and once you download it, it takes only a few steps to download it. Once you download it, and the application comes up, you can simply click on Get Address, and it will give you the address of the location where you are standing.
Right.
So if you want the address for your home, we recommend that you do it standing at the entrance of your home. The reason is that when somebody is looking for you, or when the delivery man is coming to see you, they will come through your gate,
Right.
through your entrance, and that's why we say do it at your entrance. The second one is through an offline device that the developer has provided to Ghana Post, where once you contact the post office, would arrange and then come and get your address for you.
Right. So there's been an issue also with the naming, because we understood that depending on how it was chosen, if you have, say, UE, then it was Upper East, or UW. But obviously with the Upper East and Upper West, there's going to be a problem because both of them start with U. And the second, we understand, is supposed to be the city. So how do you how are they going to fix some of these disparities that have already come up?
In fact, the Upper East, Upper West was never an issue. Right from the beginning, we identified that there will be a conflict.
Right.
And therefore, Upper West was given X as the symbol X. So
Upper West
Upper West is X, just West X.
Okay.
You know, so we chose X to make it very easy to remember.
Anyway, but break it down for me. So if I generate an address, what does it mean? I see a lot of numbers, I see alphabets.
So when you generate an address, the first letter stands for the region.
Okay.
The second letter stands for the district. And then the way the addressing system is done, the closer you are to the city center, the more zeros you have in your sequence at the beginning. And then it basically goes from every 500 meters or so. So it tells you based on address how far you are from the center. Over time, as people use it, they will know and understand how it works, and they will not even need to refer to any document, and they will be able to use it.
So in this new era, does it mean street naming is not important anymore?
Street naming is still important because it still plays a role.
Okay.
So the government of Ghana has recognized that, and therefore the Ministry of Communications and the Ministry of Local Government is leading an inter-ministerial team to see how to harmonize it and make sure that we benefit from both the benefits of the data addressing system and the street names.
Well, definitely in this advent of cyber attacks and fraud and all the issues that go with IT hacking, people will be wondering if when I put my information out there, I'm not leaking my own privacy, I'm not opening myself up to, you know, being attacked or hacked or whatever it is.
Well, a lot went into building the app and customizing the app, where it now is Ghana Post GPS. So first there's the system architecture, which is secure. Obviously, security is an ongoing process, and even as you build the system, there are challenges that come up. Then there is the level of what you do with the data once it is collected, and that is protected by the Data Protection Act 843. And so all those at Ghana Post who are going to have access to the data will only have to have it on a need-to-know basis, and the right access levels will put in place. Thirdly, there's also an interministerial committee that's been set up with the likes of national security, police, and others on it to ensure that the data is used for the purposes for which it is intended only, and that any breaches are dealt with immediately. Now, having said that, we have been monitoring all the social media space, and we do recognize that there are some concerns that have been raised around security. Our technical teams are checking those out, and we will provide solutions to any of them that are found to be credible.
Finally, before you go, with the emergency services, I'm very interested because we know ambulances having to, locate where a patient is and even get them to the hospital has been a challenge. But in the event that I haven't saved my house address on the phone, but I call in or I press in the emergency services, are they going to be able to locate my exact placements at the time?
No. What you need to do is to register your address.
Right.
After you get your address, there is under the menu button, which is at the top right-hand corner, there is a process to register your address. Once you register your address, and then once you enable that feature, a feature which relies on your location being on, then when you hit the button, the emergency services will know where you are and come to you.
So if that happens when I don't have my internet, I'll suffer for it.
That's correct. Or if your location is off.
Anyway. All right, that's all time we have for us, guys. But I hope you learned a thing or two about the National Digital Addressing System, and I hope you join on the platform with Ghana Post GPS. Do download it. Let's know your feedback. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Namaste. Hell's down heaven now, living in the same town, trying to find something new. This ain't right. Snowman, okay.
Hello, I'm home. Hello. Jumbo.
This is the life story of Griselda Blanco, the true definition of a dark widow, coming from Mexico with nothing but the desire to survive and be successful.
Guys, welcome to New York.
Her life revolves around men and revenge.
Get that gun off my face! No, please don't touch me!
Shut up.
Please.
Just be quiet. It'll be okay, Griselda. Go ahead, just kill me like you killed my son, that boy you mercilessly shot from the back. Your death by the electric chair has already been approved. Is there anything that you would like to say?
I just want to say that we're going to see each other again.
And if you dare cross her, you might not live to regret it.
Tell me who took my son. Come on, tell me where my son is!
Watch the new, exciting Griselda Blanco, the Dark Widow, tale of love and hate. Griselda Blanco, the Dark Widow, premiering on Tuesday, 24th October at 9 p.m. only on TV3. Don't miss it.
Brought to you by Solak Herbal Mixture and supported by Connect FM 97.1 in Takrady. Year after year, we've been rewarding explicit radio and television personalities and content that took over the airwaves. It's the 7th year and it's going to be more rewarding. The 7th Adonko RTP Awards 2017. Who carries the awards slated for the various categories? Let's converge at the International Conference Center on 28th of October 2017, 8 p.m. sharp, and witness the highly anticipated 7th Adonko RTP Awards with massive performances from the evergreen, sexy dancehall queen, Ebony, Kel Songs, and one big surprise artist who is the man of the moment. Special guest of honor, His Excellency Dr. Mahamadou Bawumia, Vice President of the Republic of Ghana. Present at the ceremony will be His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, former President of the Republic of Ghana, and Dr. Bwedi Nyamiche, Head Pastor, the Makers House Chapel International. Tickets go for 200 Ghana cedis ground floor and 100 Ghana cedis upper floor. You can buy tickets at Silverbird Cinemas, Kuala, Peace FM, Airport Shell, West Hills Mall, Achimota Mall, and Junction Mall. For TV3 to win more awards, vote for us now. For Jamestown Fisherman to win Television Local Series of the Year Award, text RTP Jamestown to 14446. For Ghana's Strongest to win Television Reality Show of the Year Award, text RTP Strongest to 14446. For Talented Kids to win the Television Reality Show of the Year Award, text RTP Kids to 14446. For New Day to win Television Morning Program of the Year award. Text RTP New Day to 1446. The 7th Adonko RTP Awards is brought to you by Adonko Bitters, Jazz Washing Powder, Unibank, Special Drinks, Ines Fly Paint, Stadia Boutique, GH Media School, Sumisura by Abdul, Glory Oil, Holiday Inn Accra Airport, Innovate Advertising, Eden Securities, African Homecoming Project, DSTV Ghana, GoTV Ghana, SICK Microfinance, Royal Dede Hotels, and Vital Fruit Drinks. The 7th Adonko RTP Awards, the night we all dream in gold. This event is powered by Big Events Ghana.
Ya Baby's Holiday, coming soon on TV3. Hogbechocho. This year, TV3 and Donya FM brings to you the 2017 annual Hogbechocho Festival. Come, let's celebrate a rich culture and indulge in a host of exciting activities. 28th October, mini debate at Bosumekliko at 9 a.m. 1st November, Hogbechocho School Children's Debate at Kitasco Park. 2nd November, 9 a.m. Nubidodo Reconciliation at Agonu. 3rd November, from 10 a.m. we will pay homage to Togmesri at the Awamafia Palace, Angloga, and then on to the Angloga Courtyard, Clemetoto, where the exodus of Anglo would happen. In the evening, we will partay at the TV3 and Onuya FM Street Carnival from 8 p.m. till you drop. Saturday, 4th November, there will be a grand debate of the chiefs and people at 9 a.m. at the Hogba Park. Special guest of honor, Nana Adodankwa Ekufuado, President of the Republic. This will be followed by the TV3 Beach Jam at the Aborigines Coco Bay Beach. On Sunday, we will climax it all with a massive Thanksgiving gospel rock show dubbed Hogba Praise at all churches in Anglogan. On Monday, 6th November, we will cool it up with a grand picnic. This event is proudly brought to you by TV3 and Onuya FM 95.1, 3FM 92.7, Accra, Connect FM 97.1 in Takrady, and Akuma FM 87.9. Anlo Chaklo, Nakachi Dakala Jumabinu.
Welcome back and thank you very much. Happy birthday to you, Mr. William Ajimabeko. It's your birthday today. You're 65, clean hands, motos, and this from your nephew, Kwabna Edu Jemfi. On to the screen now. So this morning, when I left to en route to the office, I saw this. This has been there at the Kwame Nkrumah Circle. If you know where the trail, the rail line is, this will be very familiar to you. It's just by the in between the VIP bus terminal and I think there's a remedial school on the other end, the pedestrian market, right in the middle. The laws says that there should be space, a lot of space, about 50 or 100 meters, a distance of that between the rail line and what we have here. But this is it. This is how the situation looks like. The AMA is moved in, it's demolished. But the last time I spoke with the mayor of Accra, he mentioned to me that indeed the land belongs to the railways, so that even if they spend money to go and demolish these structures, the rail lines have to ensure that. And yes, you find that this is not too visible because of the distance, but it says Bese 2 land, keep off. So the guys at the Bese 2 lands are also very much interested in it. But look at the densely populated area. Densely populated area. And this is not so good. Well, perhaps you want to look at another perspective of it. And just when we were brooding over it, we're told how a train has been derailed on the Tesano stretch. Train has been derailed on the Tesano stretch. As usual, our inquisitive nature as Ghanaians has gotten the better part of us. We don't care where it is. And this is it. This is the inquisitive nature. That's it. So Imagine if this didn't fall right on the side, but went on to fall, you know, a few meters away from it. How would people have coped? How would people have coped? This is it. This is how bad the thing is. This is it. And sometimes you wonder, I don't know what you think about this, but clearly I'm very livid this morning.
Johnny, but even the one you showed from Circle seems to have a better buffer zone than these ones. These real, you know, go back to the Tesano one. This actually looks like the railway, the ground beneath it is eroded. There's literally nothing to even support the road. Yeah. And so if that actually fell off, the children who were playing in the park, or anyone in that vicinity will definitely suffer for it. This will topple over. So we should
if it's running at top speed and it skids off.
There's no support whatsoever. This is appalling. This is not what we want. Yeah, we want the systems to work. They've been talking about revamping the railway system, but the ones that exist, they should improve them. They should make it better.
And you know what's sad about this situation at the Kwame Nkrumah Circle area? And it goes all the way through to Sawam, where we're told in the story that we did, an exclusive we brought to you, we're told of how even officials of the Ghana Railway Authority are selling the plots of land meant to be buffer zones to people to go and start their shops and their homes and what have you.
You wonder if they understand the importance
look at
of
this.
the buffer zone.
This is not just a business area. It's illegal and it's a brothel. It's become a brothel. So if you get to Kwame Nkrumah Circle and you take a right turn onto the rail line, you just get through it. You can't walk through there at night on your own. If you are not a known face there, they will deal with you. So this is happening. And yet we'll find that just a few meters away, the police will mount its barrier. The Braka police is there, the Kanishi police is there. We have the patrol teams around and everything else. We have the AMA, okay? Recently, I thought the AMA said they went out there to go and demolish illegal structures and they put fire, they set some on fire in the open just to show bravado and all of that. What has become of it? Look at this. Look at this and compare it to what just happened at Tesano. So that if this should have happened at Circle, what would have been the situation? If something like this had happened at Kwame Nkrumah Circle, top speed, what exactly would have happened? What would have happened?
It definitely looks like there weren't any casualties. We're grateful for that. I hope that's what the situation is.
Well, but is that not what we always say?
That
there were no casualties and so yes, and then we stop and then we allow the thing to move on. Really? I mean, what exactly is our problem? What hit us? What is it that hit us?
But Johnny, transpose this even to the road, where we have the demarcated roads for Ayalolo buses, and you've got other vehicles passing by. And I remember the AMA came out strong that they were going to make sure people don't use it. They're going to put task force agents on the street. But you don't see that happening.
Well, and for me, Numo Blafo issued a statement about last week and says that it's been suspended until they get a new board.
Right.
You know, the old board is extinct. So a new board until they get a new board. And I'm wondering, look, these are institutions. Ayalolo is an institution. The AMA is an institution. City authorities must collaborate and work together. So that if we don't have one board, does it mean that we go to sleep?
No.
What happens? I mean, when this country, when an Ayalolo bus official stepped down to go and ask, what do you call it? An Iyoko official, why he had parked the vehicle at the BRT bus stop. And he was handcuffed. He was handcuffed for asking the legitimate question.
Exactly.
I mean, really, what is the problem?
Yeah.
What is the problem?
So when it comes to road, I mean, it seems we're getting so many things wrong. We don't learn well.
Look, this real thing must be dealt with ASAP. Look, we will sit down, watch this happen, and then we'll have people come and say government should go and compensate the people and go and deal with them. Where were we when they were setting up around the rails? The laws are clear. You don't go to the UK, US, South Africa and find people living by rails. It doesn't happen. It is not proper. So why do we endanger our lives? And we have officials watch people endanger their lives. So the question I ask is, when people in authority, at the railway department, at the railway authority, at the AMA, at the Ghana police, national security, when they all wake up and they take their bath, they eat their breakfast, and they tell their wife and children they are going to work, or their husbands and their children they are going to work.
Exactly
what do they go to work to do? what exactly do they go to work to do? Or is it just the building they go and enter? I don't get it.
They just
Look,
register their presence.
Cerebral palsy. Last Friday, we had a conversation here. The law has been on the shelf for 10 solid years. And the mothers who are going through it, they don't feel included.
At all.
They don't feel included. We are only interested in big English, fine laws, sweet procedure, appoint this, Mr. That, board this, board that.
How
Nothing
does it
happens.
work when you realize you've put together good laws, but it's not working? You haven't enforced it. Then what is it? Is it just meant to be in the books for us to read and become history? We'll say, oh, once in the lifetime it was passed as such, but nothing was done about it. That is rather unfortunate because CP, for me, it's Johnny, we have so many of such children, and I think, like the woman appealed for, it's very basic. If you took on a mother to just be in a school where she can take care of her child and other CP children because she's better suited to do that, really, you just give her something small, a nice package. I'm sure she'll be more than grateful to help, and that will be contributing to society. So it's high time government looks at it. It's very basic. It's simple. I don't know why we wouldn't do it. We just don't see these health issues as priority. That for me is the basic
very
point.
Very good
That
point.
is just what it is.
I spoke with a music therapist who said that in the US, where she had opportunity, she's Ghanaian, in the US where she had opportunity to work, music therapy runs through things like that, even for bipolar and everything. Now, the treatment of those are free. The treatment for those things are free. It is not their fault. It's a medical situation.
Exactly.
Now, a mother who has 4 children with cerebral palsy,
what is she supposed to do?
what can she do? What possibly can she do? Almost all the mothers who have children with cerebral palsy, aside the stigma, have always contemplated suicide at one point or the other because our social protection fiber is weak and broken. And yet we have a ministry for gender, children, and social protection. It used to be women and children until it became gender, children, and social protection. And yet there's a hidden dagger.
It doesn't work. Johnny, without a CP child, even living a life, it's difficult in itself in Ghana. How much more having that burden of having a child who has some disability of a fault? I mean, and it's no fault of the parents. It's not the mother's fault. It's not the child's fault. So how do you cope with that? Anyway, guys, that's all time we have.
Well, time
we'll
should
rant
have allowed
as
us a lot
usual.
more,
We'll definitely rant, but we hope authorities take on the course and chatter a right path. At least let the future say you did something good for them, even now. Anyway. So we'll see you tomorrow.
We'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow is Tuesday. Make sure you excel today. Monday is the first day of the week, so excel.
Shine.
Yes, shine, just glow. Shine like Dr. Nana Majima. She's
and it's Pink October, so ladies, check your breast. Let your men help you.
Okay, I don't have pink now. So I will see you tomorrow. Oh, I
have a
pink
paper there.
Pink,
I was just
pink,
about to say you have pink.
Sergeant Lee, Otashi Otrati, no, eba get comfortable lead. A pit nation, Yananga Ale Benali. In a boy with Mokobi, Shatta Wale, Mokobe, we the Shogana.